Let's ride! You boys ready?
Hello and welcome out to this week's episode of the Gamers Council. I'm your host, WEBDAVE, and man, we feel like we got the core crew back together tonight. We have, when it's these big shows like this, we really want to deep dive into some interesting, very exciting, entertaining news all across the board, talking about video games, which we all love and play heavily. I'm going to say it's just, it's one of those things where probably why you're here is that you want us to talk some games, talk a little smack and have a little bit of fun. And that is what we're going to serve up for you tonight. And we have with us my favorite guest. That's right, Mr. the one and only K Asante. What's up, buddy? Welcome to the show.
Gentlemen. I'm good. How y'all doing? It's been a minute since I've been able to join you guys. And when wifey allows, I can join y'all on a nice Sunday evening. I appreciate y'all.
Please thank her for us. Because it is, we'll do. Respect for family is very much prevalent in my household as well, and we definitely appreciate some of the sacrifices we all do from time to time, just to put out a good show and have some fun. So, and of course, my co-host, the man that needs no introduction. He's even known by just one name, and that's Hargeet. Even though it's Hargeet Chani, Hargeet. And everybody knows exactly who you're talking about. The one and only Hargeet Chani. Ladies and gentlemen, here he is. Thank you, sir.
Welcome. Yes. Another week. Some interesting stuff happened. Was there something going on this week? Maybe there was. Let's get into the fun.
There was a little bit of fun stuff going on for sure. I guess let's get things going a little bit. Let me bring up the right screen because I'm dual boxing is what they say, K Asante, when you have two computers going at the same time, so that you don't have any hopefully lag issues or anything when it comes to doing some pulling up and some stuff. But stuff still happens anyway, as we found out the hard way in the past. But yeah, so we've got some good stuff going on. We got some great members of the community that are here, and I also want to pull up that if you are doing a super chat, we do have, and I'll put it up right beside K right now. There's a QR code to the TTS for actually this channel, and thank you, Kay, very nice. Thanks, Vanna, and and by doing that, you can see that it has what's prevalent for this show, because there's different levels to TTS. We just started off, so we're gonna start off small just to see how get our feet wet, see how it works, and let's see. Thatch just his membership renewal. We'll see. It should read it, but I haven't heard it yet, so.
Yeah,
taxing. Sometimes it does. Sometimes if it doesn't go right here in a minute, then we'll cue it out. But hopefully it's going to work. And then of course, by clicking on the TTS, it lets you know what sound effects and what voices are available on our particular show. So that's why I put it up there for you. So yeah. If it walks like a duck, there we go. All righty. So guys, let's it's a big week in gaming, and we've got a lot of stuff to talk about. Obviously there's the big topic, and welcome out to the over 100 people here watching us live right now, either on X or on YouTube. Thank you all so much for being here. We greatly appreciate you, or listening later. And with that said, too, I tell you, a Discord channel that I lurk in occasionally. I don't usually speak my mind too much, but is the Gaming Circle Discord channel is really good and really active. And sometimes it gets a little spicy in there.
Oh yeah.
Cool. Some heated debates and some really good conversation. But before we start getting some of the topics, Kay, tell everybody what it's like in your community over there, and then because it's a lot of fun, I tell you.
Absolutely.
Shout out to
I see some of the GCP fam.
GCP for life.
There we go.
There we go. It did work.
Yes, it's starting to work. I see some of them in the chat right now. So we've been doing this for a little bit now. We have a pretty good group, growing group. I think at last count about 300 folks that are part of our community in Discord. And basically, there are game channels. There's channels for all manner of things. Obviously, we're all a bunch of graybeard gamers, and you find that when you're in a community of graybeard gamers, that everyone has their little subject matter expertise in certain things. So it leads to very interesting conversation. A lot of experts come together and have crazy debates, or turn into 10-year-olds and debate Genesis games should be in the top 10. Oh boy, it's contentious, right? That still. But yeah, that's what we do. I see Coffee. Shout out to Coffee. He's in here. I love Coffee. He's a great member. East Side. I see a lot of great people that we always hang out with in our Discord. So yeah. To your point though, Dave, it is a contentious place sometimes. We the barbs are always in words, of course, but sometimes those barbs can stick. So
here we go.
Just be aware of that. But yeah, it's discord.gg/TGCG.
It's not a console.
Wow, that's beautiful. I wish we could do that one again.
That
is hilarious. Okay.
Wow, we do have the article. We'll get into that here in a little bit, because he did step on some interesting comments, and a few other people in the media chimed in on that. So we might bring that up here a little later. We do have a open communication line out with D, and if he decides he wants to step up, he's more than welcome to, as long as he can handle the heat. So anyway, okay, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but
no, that's it. That's
a really good place to go. It's a lot of fun. Yeah, if you like to talk gaming and you're really going to get into it, it's definitely a good place. Good place to go for sure. All right, so let's before I bring up some of the downfall, I guess, of because there's a lawsuit, and I've got the article on the lawsuit. What exactly?
Do you not have the other one?
I don't.
Okay, I got one. I got it. All right,
you got? Okay, cool. Yeah. Then we can pull that up first, because it's more explanation as to what Sony is decided they want to do.
Okay, does that come up?
I see it now. Yes. Add to stage.
Okay.
Pow. There we go.
Got it. All right. Yeah. All right. So essentially, Sony has decided to test dynamic pricing. So they will, based on your patterns of purchasing, they will decide what you have to pay for a game. So it could be up or down, but it will. It is potentially, I think it was something like up to 20%. Oh, here are the numbers. It could be a discount of 5%, but it could be up to 17% up as well. So okay, here we go. 12.5% discount, 17.6% increase. Ooh. That's pretty crazy. And this is not limited to their own first party. This could be any game, right? So you're seeing other games. So I think they were saying a couple of hundred, like 150 or 130, something like that, games that they're testing with. They are not testing it in the US so far. Let me see if they have the list of countries in here. Yeah, so they are testing it in Europe, Middle East, Africa, and Latin America. They have skipped the US and Japan for now. Don't expect that that's going to stay. But yeah, it's an interesting choice. This is when they said they were going to try to, monetize their current, consumer base. This is how they're doing it. They're going to charge you more based on how much FOMO you have. So,
Wow.
what do you guys think about that?
Did you see the comment that Void Rat put up?
Let's see. If
Right on the screen.
Yeah, you already have it. Dynamic penny pitching. Yeah.
Okay, we'll get your thoughts first on this if you want.
Oh, sure. Honestly, and it's super interesting when they drop this news too. Let's not forget that. It is not surprising. It's not. It's not surprising. They said as much. They said they were going to do as much, right? And people have been shielding them for quite some time in some of the behaviors that they have, and it is what it is. So the more they are shielded, the further they go in that realm. I recall on the Xbox side, not too long ago, folks were beating down their door about the price increases and whatnot, right? And in certain instances, they're able to beat that back and things of that nature. I feel like we don't get as much of that on the PlayStation side, obviously because they are able to provide their fans what they're presumably looking for as far as games and whatnot. So at least that's my take on it. They must be why, because there's a lot of that going on for a while. So I feel like they keep going further and further down the line. I was just reading into some of the reports of what this quote unquote experiment is, and man, it's quite interesting, right? Randomly assigning users in test and control groups, so people in the same room may have different pricing. Wow. And the discounts are variable based on, as Hargeet was saying, can range significantly based on your pattern of purchase. You can get discounts between 5 and 28%. That's not available to general population. So, I guess they're trying to say, if you're a type of person that doesn't buy that often, maybe they'll entice you with a bigger discount so that you'll stay there. And if you're a person who was already in there, always paying, then maybe your discount's 5%. Something to that effect. It's just, it's not necessarily the best of looks. Let's just say it's not the best of looks these days, especially when they're also being sued, which we can also talk about. For monopolistic pricing, right? And in that suit, they literally brought about the fact that for a long time now, if you buy a digital game, it should be cheaper than a physical game, but for some reason, it's always the same, and they have no reason to justify that, right? It's actually anecdotally, it's funny enough that we bring this up. We were in the Discord this afternoon having a chat, playing this game called Trial. What is it? Trial. Now I gotta find the name of the damn game. Basically, Trial Out. Basically, it's like Burnout. It's like Carmageddon, crazy car game, right? And it's an old game, and it's been out for a long time, and we just discovered it, and we're trying to play it, and it looks really fun. You go to any app store right now, you go to any store right now, you can find that game for $5. Came out in 2022. Very, very fun, old school aesthetic kind of game. On PlayStation, it's $30. You can't find it anywhere else but $30 because there's just they control their pricing so tightly, right? So, it is what it is. It seems like this might be the wrong time for this kind of news to come out because it might all point to a very, very bad court case for them. I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. And we did bring go ahead, Hargeet.
Yeah. So WEBDAVE gives 5 WEBDAVE memberships.
Hey. Also, I want to make sure I don't want to stop the topic, but big shout out to FARK QUE and his real good friend Bram Stoker. Anyway, because they're nice enough to do some help us with some wonderful AI art, and he's going to start getting credits on our shows as well in the description. I got to add it tonight, but a big shout out to him for helping out with some of this amazing artwork. It was so good that we now have a brand new T-shirts for sale based off his artwork of me, Asante, and Hargeet Chani as arc readers. So there you go, and those are available starting today. Big shout out to you, FARK QUE. Cool. Yeah, exactly. FARK QUE, we got to play some arc readers maybe later tonight. We'll talk. or maybe tomorrow. All right. So guys, with that, I got the lawsuit pulled up, Kay, and Hargeet. So Hargeet, I'll let you get your thoughts off on it, and then we can kind of start talking about weave it into this as well.
Lawsuit,
the actual lawsuit. Yeah.
Yeah, so this is kind of disappointing, right? So look, in some ways, there is no specific reason that we have to have a standard for game prices. That was just something that like the big platforms decided to sort of agree on. But there's really nothing saying it has to be that way. Anybody can charge whatever they want. So as far as this being something that can't be done, it 100% can be done, can absolutely be done. Heck, you can go to the movies, and some movies cost less than others, right? It's just the way it is. You buy a Blu-ray that could be like cheaper or more expensive. It just depends on who's putting the movie out and maybe popularity of the movie, right? And so they can do whatever they want. Ultimately, I don't know that there's anything that any government will say about this. It's very annoying though. Where I find it kind of tricky is you're being specific to an individual and not specific to a game, right? If you said, hey, this game, we like Mario Kart World, right? The one that came with the Switch 2, they decided was worth $80 to them. To them, it's worth $80, but the other games aren't. Okay, you know what? Fine. But you're not picking on some specific person and saying you will pay $80, but you can pay $60, right? And so that is a very weird situation. However, I still think it's within bounds. It would have to be something where it's absolutely discriminatory against a group. I don't think they're doing that. What they're doing is using AI to see what are your behavior patterns, and then they're gonna go after you because of your behavior patterns.
Be fair,
right? Which is
if that's the case,
weird.
you can technically say they're being discriminatory. They're going after the whales. If you are a buyer, they'll make sure you keep buying. They're coming after you. Deep pocket.
You mean they're going after the rich, and you think governments are going to be like, oh, you shouldn't go after the rich.
Wow.
If you're a purchaser of a lot of products, they're gonna come after you, make you keep purchasing that product.
I see the government would be like, wait, you figured out a way to figure out who are spending way too much money? Oh, great. How do I tax them?
Yeah, exactly.
Can I increase the taxes on them?
Give me those names. I'll tax them after you're done.
Got a comment coming up.
Take mine, you Xbox funds. I don't need it anymore since I already own a gaming PC with FSC. Smirking face emoji.
Okay,
don't
great.
take the bait. That's
awesome.
coffee. Don't take the bait.
Yep.
Stop it, coffee. We see what you're doing.
But either way, look, it feels scummy, right? It has like an icky factor to it. I don't know that there's any issue technically. They did say there's more regulatory issues in Japan and the US to make that happen. Potentially, we'll see, right? I don't know how that's going to work out. But I can see this if it works. I can see this kind of going to other platforms. So don't just think that, oh, it's just PlayStation. They're being dude. If this works, don't be surprised when Nintendo and Xbox do the same thing, because they will. so just throwing that out there. I hope they don't. Please don't do that. I hope this fails miserably, but it's probably gonna work. And they're probably gonna make money off of people who just have FOMO and will and look, they're basing this on your patterns, right? And there are obvious patterns of people like, I will pre-order immediately. Oh my God. And like that person will be charged more. Sorry, you're dumb enough to do that. You'll be charged more. And they're gonna know the pattern. It's like, oh, it's only 77. Oh, I'll pay that. Yeah, take my money. Okay,
so
fine. Sure, they'll take your money.
Paying more. Let's go.
Yeah. I mean, it's not like they didn't come out and say it, right? It's not like the PlayStation fanboys didn't come out and say, I will pay more, charge me more. Okay.
Yeah, they did.
You wanted it. Here you go. Here you go. You wanted it. Here you go. So what I don't want is the same thing that happened to other platforms. I would prefer it like stay where, in fact, I think prices are too high as it is. $70 is ridiculous. They need to come down, but whatever.
Exactly.
This is a fun thing to see.
Hey, go ahead. Do you have any more thoughts on this on the lawsuit part of it?
So okay, right? Go
honestly, and from my side of this house, I hope that if nothing else, it shakes something loose. Sometimes it takes regulatory bodies in other countries that just like shake something loose to make there be a new standard, right?
Mhm.
Like I've never thought that, exactly to Hargeet's point, I've never thought that the standard in pricing has always been a righteous one. It just isn't. It never has been. This whole now we have a new standard of $70 is the standard price. That's ridiculous. $80 now. I'm throwing pitches. I'm pitching a fit. I'll be there right in front of you with the pitchforks. Like forget about it. I've said it in my Discord, and we have a place called the Knees Archive.
Nice.
That's right. We have it written in the Knees Archive that if GTA 6 is $80 or more, I am not buying. Like I don't even buy $70 games. I'm sorry. It's not. And it's not like, oh, he's the kind of guy who just gets a bunch of codes. It's not even about that. I will wait and get the deal because I feel like we should live in that variable world. And in PC land, there very much is a lot of variability when it comes to that. And then sometimes it comes to consoles as well. But if anything else, I hope this eventually shakes it loose to a point where there's something that can be held as a new guideline that others can move towards, because this is them moving too close to the sun, and someone needs to smack them down a little bit, make sure they don't go too far too fast. And it's necessary, right? They're doing what they're supposed to do for their business. Like regulatory bodies and those who can sue should be able to say, hey, we see what you're doing, it ain't right, and we're gonna smack you down. So I hope it turns into something.
Yeah, I agree with you. There is a couple of members of your Discord that have been.
Of course. Oh yeah, they're going hard in this their chat. They need to stop. Let's see. What is this? What's happened to GTA 6 is $120 and on PlayStation.
$120. Yeah.
$120 on PlayStation. Tony's gonna love it. Well, yeah, of course.
Yeah, and don't be surprised if that does happen. By the way.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, I said it a long time ago on Iron Lord's podcast that it's going to be $80 and it's going to be the non-BBL edition, because this is based on Miami, so there'll be the special BBL edition that comes with the huge booty cheeks on the cover of the thing, and that'll be like $200. They do. People will buy it.
Yeah,
so it's no big deal.
So as far as the lawsuit, so. Look, this started years ago, and it's just basically proceeding. There hasn't been anything at the government level to dismiss the case so far.
Right.
And I think there is merit to the case. Sony themselves, PlayStation, decided to do this. I think it was 2018, 19, something like that, where they decided that they were going to take away competitive access to the digital store, right? So normally you can buy these codes for games for all the other platforms on competitive stores, and in Europe they kind of require that you have that kind of openness, and that's why you get sites like Eniva or Loaded or those kind of like sites, right? They all have those competitive store access for digital codes, and Sony decided to pull that, and the lawsuit here is in the UK, but I believe other regulatory bodies were kind of latched to it and saying, okay, we're going to take a look at this and see what's going on, right? But look, whatever happens in the UK will kind of be a model of what will happen everywhere else. I don't know that this is a good thing, and this is literally the reason why, right? Because now they can give you variable pricing, whereas a normal retailer will not do that because they have a competitive pressure to say, no, I want to sell this game at the cheapest possible thing so that people come to my store, right? Whereas here, there's no competitive pressure. So they can say, this is the price. Now, they basically don't even think Xbox competes with them anymore. So they basically say, well, hey, we have a monopoly on this. You want to play this game? You're going to come here and you're going to pay whatever we tell you to pay. And they're literally doing it per person. They're basically saying, you will pay whatever we tell you. That's the way it is. Like, oh, okay, that is pretty disgusting. Now, is it illegal? No. But is it right? Probably not. So is there some weird regulatory potential here? Maybe, right? Because, if they get into that monopolistic territory, then they could get slapped by governments saying, okay, you can have that monopoly. However, here's now what we're going to tell you have to do. Right. And this is going to be fun for them, right? Because they themselves have kind of decided that Xbox has waved the white flag. Therefore, they have no competitor, right? They themselves said that Nintendo does not compete with them. Okay, fair enough. Guess what? You're a monopoly now. De facto, you're a monopoly. Okay, cool. Now you have a single store. No retailer can take your digital codes. Okay, guess what? Double monopoly. We'll see how this goes. I think they're going to win the lawsuit.
Yeah.
I think that not Sony. I think the person that brought this lawsuit, they're going to win it. And it's going to become a little bit of a headache for PlayStation to kind of handle this. So what it really ends up being is, will there be legislation? There probably will be. There might be regulatory requirements on PlayStation to handle this, and they might have to open it back up. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. Hopefully there's a remedy, like you said, Asante, that like will be adopted everywhere, that there's going to be some remedy that will help us, right? That basically should be the end answer to this. So hopefully that is what happens here. But yeah, the case, I thought it had merit when it was filed. I'm like, they have that case. They have a case, right? There's something here. And so far, none of the regulatory bodies, the courts, nobody has come up and said, yeah, we should dismiss this, because they're all like, yeah, I think you have something here. So when they say that, there's obviously something to it, right? So I still think there's a good chance it's gonna go and they're gonna get hit. Sony's gonna get hit. Well, that's a good thing for consumers, I think. But so we'll see what happens. But this variable pricing is case in point of just why it's a bad idea to let them have their own only access to the digital store. But hey, whatever.
Agreed. Let's see. Big shout out to the over 204 people watching us live right now on YouTube and on X. Welcome, everybody. Thank you so much for being here. We greatly appreciate each and every one of you. And there was a comment that was made before when we went live. This was earlier in the afternoon, and I started Hargeet so we could read it, because I just want to make sure he got his point across. I thought it was kind of cool.
Yeah, Gamers Paradise 75. Sony announced community game help in 2024. The same thing Xbox announced and Ponies celebrated. Now they don't like it.
Yeah.
Well,
interesting. Yeah. When one does it, it's great. Another one does it, it's the devil. So yeah. just saying. It just seems that way. Was it one can do no wrong and one can do nothing but wrong? It's kind of the way it is. So to this next topic, I want to go ahead and jump into the a little bit more. I guess we're getting closer, and Kay, I think you're pretty excited about it. I know Hargeet and myself are for sure, and that is the Steam machine. And now they're talking about Wario64. Shout out to him. Has posted some really good, and there's some graphics. We'll pull those up in a minute. But Hargeet, you want to read the front part of that, and then we can kind of dig into a little deeper about is it good or bad as far as the actual output. I think it's a good thing, but let's get you guys' opinion.
Yeah, so Steam Machine targets 30 FPS 1080p for verification, the minimum of obtaining verification status, not a performance target. More info here, and then edited to add some clarification, since I guess people thought it meant games are 30 FPS locked.
Right.
And it has some diagrams here. But basically it's saying that the minimum target is that. So they want to have at least that.
Let's see. There we go. There's the first part. Okay, both of you guys jump in on this together, because, like I said, this is an episode where we're going to be digging a little bit deeper into some of the mechanics and the behind the scenes stuff and the minutia, as Asante would say, what makes things tick, and that's what we want to know, is what makes things work. And
I think this is pretty decent pricing. The pricing, decent specs rather.
Yeah.
I think this aligns with the whole. They want to still keep it cost effective, right? There's also talk of them on the hunt for RAM at GDC because they couldn't find RAM.
Wow.
And that's a problem, right? Because I've always known them, as in Valve, to be very much a customer forward kind of company. Not trying to necessarily make too much of VIG on any kind of devices, but they're using it to move their systems forward, right? Their ecosystem forward. And this will be exactly the same way, just like the Steam Deck has been for so many people in so many years, right? So it looks like because of those RAM issues, it may not either come out or it may not fall how they want it to fall, because they're gonna have to raise the price substantially to make it work. And that's why we don't see the prices and stuff right now. But yeah, what I see so far is pretty decent, right? It was never meant to be the tip of the spear, a graphics output, right? It was always meant to be middle of the road. You saw the graphics and the games they used to represent it when it first came out in videos, right? yes, we saw all these tech tubers using Cyberpunk, but they were using like the likes of Stardew Valley. You know, that's what they were showing you every time they show you video. They don't mean it to be, you know, a monster crunching like hardware spec, right? So provided that the pricing provided the pricing of the RAM is recoverable somehow, I'm looking forward to seeing what this thing does, right? I'm looking forward to it coming out and potentially giving people who want it something interesting in the living room, right? Honestly, I feel like there's interesting hardware coming around all over the place. I turn around and provided that the RAM doesn't kill it, this thing will be very, very interesting, right? What do you call it? Apple released their $600 iPad laptop, which is basically a iPhone chip in a laptop, but it's so well optimized, it's doing so much. People are like, "Holy crap! We didn't even know Apple knew what $100,000 was." You know, there's a lot of interesting things going around. You know, so this to me, it's very decent. It looks cool. It looks cool. So all I'm waiting for now is the pricing. I want to see what that pricing looks like. That will determine this thing, right? If it's 12, 1300, 1400 bucks, that might not be where we want, because this is targeting a middle of the road spec. So if you want to treat it like a console, you got to really push for console pricing. But yeah, we'll see where it falls. I've never known Valve to be the type of company to want to get their extra on top. So we'll see what they do, you know.
Exactly. And with that, some of the diagrams, I guess. So let's skip to the next real quick. And Hargeet, we'll meet this back when we get to you as well. But the verification system for that, I mean, that seems like a pretty good pipeline, don't you think?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Very mature. They've been doing this for a minute, right? And it's actually funny. It's funny you mentioned this. Some people come and they talk about the verification system because it's comparable to the Xbox or Microsoft's verification system. This is an actual verification system, because chances are, if you don't hit any of those translation pipelines, it won't run at all, right? You can fudge your way through it by downloading your own stuff and going your own path if you're good at Linux. But by and large, these guys have been able to mature their stuff to a position where it's actually very confident for the consumer to purchase. So it's kudos to Valve for getting it done. You know, this is the model now that everybody should be following.
Yes, for sure. And we'll go ahead and get let me pull this down here real quick. There we go. So we do have a guest that is
That Lotus says Pre-MX celebrates 4 months of membership.
Thank you, Lotus. We appreciate you. D, welcome to the show. Before we get into your conversation here, we want to
at Soiled 2015 celebrates 14 months of membership.
Thank you, Soil Tech. We appreciate that. We want to get Hargeet's thoughts on this particular topic, and we can get your thoughts on it as well if you'd like to input on this. Go ahead, Hargeet. Oh, you're muted.
All right, sorry. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, look, I don't think that's a bad target for what it is, right? This is just shy of a PS5 as far as performance targets, which is fine. I guess the question really is just
H54 celebrates 14 months of membership.
Thank you, Mac. Appreciate that. Sorry, Hargeet.
Thanks, Mac. So, you know, it's really a question of how much is it going to cost, right? So we'll see what that looks like when it actually gives us, you know, when they give us a price. But yeah, having the, like, you know, what is the certified levels that are available? Will the game run on a Steam machine or not? That's a good thing to know, right? So, you know, it also gives you a catalog that you can use to see if this is for you or not, right? So there are going to be games, for instance, that may not run at all because they require some anti-cheat capability that's just not there. But some games might work on it, right? They might say, okay, well, this is maybe something we want to target, and they'll work on an anti-cheat capability for Proton and Linux and see how they can make it work, right? So we'll see what happens. But it is good to have like a program that actually does that. Xbox is doing that with the ROG as well, right? There's a certification process for those as well. But hey, that's the way it goes.
It does. D, welcome to the show. DBatch. First time I've ever met you, sir, and welcome.
Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you. Yes, thanks for having me on.
No worries, no worries. I know you're a former member of the RDX crew, which is I have a lot of respect for everybody that was on that show. And of course we have, Paris Lily's in the chat. I saw that as well too. Yo, Paris. None of that matters. The Xbox is dead. Oh yes, of course. You meant the PlayStation. You got to get those words right, but that's okay. That's all right. So the topic right now at hand is the Steam Machine and what it targets at, which is kind of a base target, which is I think smart because if everything can fit at least this, and then it can go above it, that's great. But if at least it can target this, that it's going to be probably some good quality. Your thoughts on the Steam Machine PC for the in front of the TV? What are your thoughts about that?
Well, everything looks good in how they have the Proton and Linux, the basis of it being Steam Machine verified to do 1080p, 30 FPS. I don't.
Hargeet, what's Project Helix?
All right, we'll get into that in a minute. Sorry, it does get a little crazy, D. I will pause those. Sorry.
I'm pretty sure your text to speech is going to go crazy with me on the show today. Get that guy off the show. You're going to get like 1 million of those.
Could be. We'll see.
But yeah, I think overall, I think the Steam Machine is going to be a good machine. When we look at the CPU that's in there, yes, it's going to be around PlayStation 5 performance, but you're looking at the CPU, right? So,
Right.
you're going to get higher frame rates. And when you look at a lot of PC users, everyone likes to tout that they have a 5080 or a 5090. They don't. Most people have like a 3070 or something, right? So a lot of people are going to see this as a viable option, to have as a second machine or a bedroom machine or just, a machine just to game on where they don't have to worry about all the things from Windows. And I think it's all going to come down to the price. I think the price is going to make or break this. We already know. I don't know if you guys have touched on Helix yet, but we pretty much know that Helix is going to be expensive, right? So Steam Machine is going to have to give you some type of value because there's going to be a difference in performance and specs between the two. So I think the Steam Machine is going to come down to price. I think PC gamers in general would prefer a Steam Machine over a Windows machine. I think that's part of the big push with Microsoft and what they're doing on PC because they don't want to lose out to Steam OS and people starting to do their stuff on Linux, right? They want to keep their operating system strong, especially when it comes to gaming. So it's very interesting. I think it all comes down to the price. Like, what is this Steam Machine going to be priced at? I think that's where its success lies.
Yeah. Exactly. All right. Yeah, good point. For sure. And I definitely am looking forward to this when it comes out. I'm going to get the controller for sure. Even if I don't get the machine, because the controller can be used on anything. I'm looking forward to that. Mm-hmm. I don't know that I need the 3D accessory part, but I know it's standalone and everything, but I have one already, so I don't really see the need for another one at this point. We'll see, but definitely the system would be good to have, as it were. Nice to be able to do that, but basically have a lot of different devices that will do that now. The Xbox, the ROG Ally X will do that, which is really nice and convenient to do. I even have a Steam Deck, which obviously you dock it right there. It's right on your TV and good to go, and take it with you everywhere. So
yeah, a lot of people don't realize, like, even the Xbox ROG Ally, you can hook that up to your TV. Mm-hmm. You can use an external controller. So it's how are they going to sell this thing? Because like the ROG Ally, I might give it a lot of is it Xbox or whatnot, but when it comes down to its capabilities, it's a capable machine. It plays games quite well. I have the original ROG Ally. I didn't feel the need to update it because I put like a 4 terabyte SSD in the original one. So it's like loaded, and the new one, I think on paper it's like a 20 to 25% uptick in performance. I just didn't feel like spending the extra money for something that I pretty much have already. But overall, I think the ROG Ally is a very, very good device. I think it is. And Steam Machine, it's going to be coming after those customers. And the price, once again, because a ROG Ally is expensive.
Or a console, rolling on the floor laughing emoji.
Okay, we'll get to that in a minute. I promise there, Mac.
Yeah, because the ROG Ally is like, how much is it in the States for the ROG Xbox Ally X?
$1,000.
Yeah,
$1,000 last check.
So what do you guys have this Steam Machine pegged at?
I think it's probably going to be around 6 or 7.
So
So these days I can't call it because of the RAM issues and whatnot. Even if they make it happen, that's what's going to ruin everything. Like because the ROG Ally wasn't supposed to be $800. It wasn't going to be $800 until the whole pricing with the stupid tariffs and all that, which made it permanent, right? Yeah. So like and this RAM stuff has the potential of setting it off a different path as well. So I would say 800 is wishful thinking. It shouldn't be because of the power profile, but where we are as far as hardware and how hard they're literally like on the floor GDC going, anybody got some RAM? Like it's hilarious, but true. You know what I'm saying?
They got guards on the PC so people don't steal the RAM.
It's a problem. Yes, RAM is a thing, especially if you're a smaller company who can't, source those parts like say Microsoft can or whatever. So hey, we shall see, but I hope it comes out at this point because they're the type of company that would go, you know what, we can't make it like cost effective for you and us, so we're just going to sit on it until we can. Right? That's just the type of company they are. So they may just not even release it. We'll see.
They came out and said, we're having some difficulties with the RAM, so sorry for the delay. We're going to release it. It's going to release soon enough. And then they came out again and made a statement stating that they're definitely going to release it this year. I initially thought it would be around, looking at the specs profile, I thought it'd be around 600 to maybe 650. I'm thinking with this RAM situation, I don't think they can price it more than $800. It's just got to be honest. So I see this thing landing at like $799. One SKU of it, and then maybe another SKU that has like more storage at like $900. Just in the current climate of things, like it's unfortunate, but it kind of is what it is, right?
There you go.
That's as good a price as any, I would say. If they could hit sub 1,000, I think that's a win.
They have
remember. People keep talking about RAM apocalypse, but RAM apocalypse is also storage apocalypse. Same thing.
Yeah.
Storage and RAM are just dying right now. So we shall see,
For sure. Let me go up here. So do we want to step on the third rail now, or do we want to what do we want to do, Hargeet?
I don't know what third rail we're discussing here. You guys,
D knows what their third rail is. We've already gotten a couple of super chats.
What a perfect week for me to come on the show as I rub my hands.
Oh goodness.
I'll be good.
Let's talk about the Bluepoint tech lead. The ex Bluepoint tech lead, Peter.
Definitely,
I don't know if you have that one actually.
Let's see. I've got it
queued up to go.
Let's see. Yeah, I do. Let me give me just a second here. And then so professional. Can you tell? Anyway, give me just a second. It was right here, and I think I pulled out of it and went to a different pause and pulled to a different story at the moment. Let's see here, but I do have it. Was the guy from Bluepoint in his
yeah, we can kind of kill two birds with that one, right? Like
exactly.
But anyways, let's get that one.
Maybe you could fill me in on the Bluepoint. What's going on?
You can go ahead and start filling them in, and I'll find the article if you want to.
Yeah. So, ex Bluepoint tech lead Peter, I don't have his last name here. Sony is pulling back on PC ports because Valve Steam Deck and the upcoming Steam machines could offer console-like simplicity plus the full PC library. If PlayStation games launch day one on Steam, Valve could effectively win the console war.
All right, so there, if you want to read the, you may have just done it verbatim, but that's it.
I will say, WebDave, I love the layout, how you just put that information there for me. Awesome.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, and by the way, D, I don't know if you can see the notes tab on the side. I'm not sure if that's available to you. If it is, then our notes are in there as far as what we're talking about today.
Oh, okay. Perfect.
But
here's the topics.
Yeah, so I think I just did read exactly what this has. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Boy, that was handy.
Yeah.
Solidifies what you said, doesn't it? Exactly. So Hargeet, we'll get your thoughts on it first, since you read that and you actually know a little bit about this, and then we'll go from here. So
Yeah, so this is an interesting point, I guess, right? It's kind of what we thought, that there was some potential of Steam Machine and potentially even Helix being an issue for them.
Uh-oh. Hold on.
Where
Hold up a sec. Sorry, D. It's gonna read it. I know. As soon as I say that, it doesn't read it. That's hilarious.
did you pause them maybe?
Nope, I have not.
Okay.
Sometimes it takes a moment, depending on the traffic for the site.
Where should I be reading this?
I just wanted to be prepared for it.
Yeah, it's in the super chats. It just came in. So if you look at the comments and then go to starred, you'll see all the
Oh, okay.
super chats.
Okay.
Yeah. So I mean that.
There's
Well,
what it
they want my opinion on the on the variable pricing.
Yeah, the dynamic pricing.
I think well, listen, one thing about me, I'm always gonna call it like it is. The variable pricing is garbage, because they're targeting people, right? So there's some people where they know that maybe they can't afford a certain price, they'll give it to them cheaper. And then somebody else who just buys games all the time, who is really loyal and probably should get a discount, is not getting a discount. I think variable pricing is garbage. Have a sale and have a general price for all consumers, not just for some. That's ridiculous. I don't know the point of it. It makes no sense.
I think Kay's right.
says triple digit percentage jumps. I think Kay's right. Okay, cool. Sorry about that. That one I read. I don't know why I didn't read the other one. Very weird. So it's being spotty. I'm sorry for interrupting you, sir. Go ahead. D, you can go ahead.
Oh yeah. So it's garbage. It should never be. You should have a general price for all consumers. So I'm not for that. I'm not for anything that's anti-consumer. I don't care what company it is. You know, you can enjoy the platform, you can enjoy Sony games, but let's just be honest, they do a lot of anti-consumer stuff outside of, the good games that they provide. For instance, if you want to get a refund with Sony, good luck. You're gonna have a hard time getting that refund. I've seen cases where people have lost their accounts because they got a refund. So, gamers just got to call it out and make your voice be heard that this is ridiculous, it's nonsense, and it's unacceptable. And that's pretty much the end of that.
There you go. So
all right, so back to back to Steam Machine, right?
Yeah.
All right, so I don't know if Sony did it specifically for this or not, right? But if this is coming from somebody inside, you can kind of take a guess. But look, there's also going to be some animosity here. Then they just closed down Bluepoint,
right? Could be a bitter pill.
Maybe that is it. However, I don't know why they would go after this specific thing, right? So it is more likely than not that they do understand what's going on there. So if I had to just try to measure whether this is realistic or not, I wouldn't be shocked that it's true. And having the potential for a reasonably priced Steam Machine that will play all of their games outside of I assume no, Helldivers, does that require anti-cheat? I don't know if it does. I think it might work. I'm not sure. Okay, so Helldivers might not work. I'm assuming Marathon is probably that way. And Destiny,
Marathon,
right? So
Marathon would be one of the first, because Destiny was one of the first to pull back.
Okay, so so I assume those won't be available, but outside of that, you're gonna have a bunch of their single player games, their main story driven games. They're gonna be available here, and what's also interesting to hear, maybe people are overlooking it, is day one on Steam. So there were talks about bringing their games day one on Steam. And apparently they looked at it and said, okay, what if this thing comes out? Are we now losing our competitive advantage for our platform? And to some level, you got to say that maybe it would, right? I don't know how well this is going to do. My assumption is more like a Steam Deck. It's not going to go into a very large install base, but who knows? We don't know, right? So it just depends on how expensive this thing is. So if it's a reasonable price, maybe it's a good potential. I don't know, right? But you do have to look at the fact that the majority of gaming is on games that won't play here, right? That's also just a fact, right? So if you're looking at this from a indie box, right, or some of the AAAs will play here, not those that have competitive anything. Okay, cool. But if you're looking for the general player box, because they're playing Fortnite, they're playing Apex, they're playing Call of Duty.
Yep.
Those games won't be here, right? Unless those publishers decide to do something to make it work, which they may, but that's not a guarantee, right? So up front, you have to make the decision: do you want to get this? If those are games you want to enjoy, you won't be playing them here, right? Unless you decide to wipe the Steam OS and install Windows on it, which you can. It's a PC. You can go ahead and do that, right? So that's certainly an option. But unless they do that, and again, it screams niche product. When you say, oh, you can buy this thing, then wipe it clean and install a new OS. It's like, this is not what the general customer of a console wants to do. They just want to buy box, plug to TV, play game, right? Yep. So I'm just looking at it from that simplicity perspective. I don't know that this really would be the fit for the average gamer, right? Because they're going to play those games that will not work. And so for me, that's kind of a little bit of a problem. So I don't know. We will see where this goes. So from a Sony perspective, they saw a potential, but I think it's, in my opinion, I think they just had a little too much fear of something that I don't know that necessarily would compete well with PlayStation, simply given the name, right? Yes, Steam is big in PC, but a lot of PC players like the PC. They want to be on a personal computer that they can do whatever they want with. I don't know that they get that here. They may. It's a cool device. But again, just like the Steam Deck, it is a kind of a niche thing. Now, could this go to 15, 20 million sold? Sure. Is it going to eclipse 100 million? I just don't know. And I like that name, PlayStation, is so large. It's such a massive brand. Anything can change in the market. That is totally true. It just feels like that's not really a thing. And maybe they pulled a little too early if this was their main target of concern. I'd have more concern about Helix than I would about this, just because Xbox is a larger console known entity. However, they've done enough damage to their brand. I don't know where that sits. Right. So, so it's an interesting influx. Maybe they're seeing numbers that make sense. I also don't think they were really selling that well for most of their games, especially since they started the baloney of having to log in to PlayStation Network. When they did that, they made it mandatory for a little bit. That really ticked off a lot of the PC players, and so they pulled back. And I don't know that it ever recovered. So we'll see. But I can kind of believe this. But I think Sony is kind of overthinking it, in my opinion. So
go ahead.
Sorry. No, I think it's absolutely this is the case. I think they were on a trajectory to release their games a little bit quicker on PC. I don't think they're really going to go day one outside of the live service games. Obviously, I think they were going to cut it down to like a 6-month window. That's what it looked like. And then the Steam machine came about, and obviously you'd have access to their games, right? And then the Helix came about, and you'd have access to their games. And they said, how are we going to differentiate our system compared to these systems? And that's our exclusive games. That's what's going to make our system different. Now, the next generation, the Steam machine, although it's not going to have all the bells and whistles of these other machines, it's still going to be a PC at the end of the day that plays your Steam library. And Steam is king on PC. So I don't necessarily think the Steam machine is targeting console players per se. I think it's more targeting PC players that want a secondary machine that they can just boot up and just play. I think it's targeting some console players that maybe flirted with the idea of going over to PC but don't like the complexity. And I think the Steam machine's selling point is truly going to be its price. It's price to performance. That's what's going to make or break the system. Now, as far as Sony removing their games, I think it's the right thing for them to protect their platform, because theoretically, if you can play their games, 6 months after release on a Helix, on a Steam machine, you're potentially going to lose some customers. Maybe not a lot, but you're potentially going to lose some. And they don't want to give up 1% of gamers share in the market. So I think that's why they did this. I think the next war is truly going to be a war for PC in the living room that's really accessible with a console-like experience. I don't think the Steam Machine is a bad idea. I don't even think the Helix is a bad idea, because it takes the better parts of PC and it takes the ease of use of console and kind of rolls it into one. And that's although PC is growing, it's the platform that's growing the most. There's still people that are reluctant to go into PC because they don't have to do driver updates and worry about if their GPU is up to date and like, why is this blue screen of death happening, and Googling it. They don't want to deal with all of that, but they like the performance that you can get on PC. And the Helix is going to be a very performant machine. And the PlayStation is also going to be the PlayStation 6 is going to be a very performant machine. So if you can keep your console players happy with the exclusives there and still offering them similar performance to what they're getting on PC with path tracing, ray tracing, machine learning, AI, frame gen, your exclusives are it's what's gonna keep your platform going. So I think it's a smart move. As a PC gamer, it's disappointing.
Yeah,
but I understand it.
All right. Well, let me get to Kay. I want to get your opinion on this, and then I got my own quick opinions. But I do want to give a big shout out to PixelBitG in the chat. We got Holly, that blue numbers, hanging out with us in chat. Tony from the Plume Network is here as well. Guys, welcome. I love all you guys hanging out with us. We greatly appreciate you. There's over 250 people watching us live right now. And Kay Asante, let's get your opinion on this, and then I will give you my opinion.
No, so I agree. I agree by and large with what D's saying here. The make or break will be its price point, right? And I wish we live in a world where we didn't have to walk down the path where other factors are increasing that price point, because I feel like they'd be very interesting at that point without those other factors in the equation. I have been a person who uses a lot of Valve equipment. I still have my Index here. I have a bunch of different Valve equipment. They always tend to do something interesting. So I genuinely do think that this would have been a disruption of some kind. To his point, I wouldn't say this was directly going for the living room per se, as far as how the consoles have it, because console players are going to do what console players do. Yep. And Hargeet made the point super clear that chicken and egg has not been solved, right? As far as getting anti-cheat working on a Linux platform. But people keep going, well, then let's get the publishers there, then they'll solve it. That's like saying, eventually when there's enough will, they'll solve cancer. It is the fundamental issue of that platform. You can't quickly solve it, because the reason why you want to go to Linux is the reason why you can't run anti-cheat on Linux, right? It's open nature access to the kernel. So yeah, it's this thing that may never, ever get really resolved. So because of that, it may never really be a serious competitor in the living room alongside any of those others, right? But what's interesting here, and I see, like, I hear what this Bluepoint tech lead is saying, right? But it's just interesting to see what's on the field, which is, yes, you have this coming into the market. It may or may not play crazy monster AAA games, but it's still something that has access to these games, right? Then you have Helix and or its purported Magnus third parties that will eventually hit the market, all running the same kind of thing, right? Many price points, many different hardware profiles, all with the same end, which is selling those games, right? So it does become an environment where you just kind of get singled out if you're not very careful. Although I agree with Hargeet that whoever thought that was the main driver to take your ball and go home, like they don't understand the power of PlayStation. It is the thing your grandma tells you to put down, even though you're playing the Xbox, right? Like it is the name of gaming. To those who don't know, their brand has permeated enough. They actually are at a point now where they can experiment a bit and not have to worry, because it's all PlayStation if it's a console, right? They have earned that. So they should be able to be a bit more bold and do some more experimenting and all that. But I suspect that when you add Microsoft's offerings, including Steam's offerings, including the, and this is all speculation on my part, the purported third-party offerings that will undoubtedly eventually all permeate the environment, that becomes a lot of different PC-capable, Sony-playable devices in the market against little old them who just have one entry point, which is that you buy my box, you play my game. When you start seeing all the hordes against them, it might make sense that they want to take their ball and go home. So we shall see. It's all about how the price point falls.
Can I just add to that?
Go right ahead.
Yeah. So I would say, I was looking at the numbers. I believe it's PC accounted for like 1.46% or 1.49% of all of their profits. So it's a small dip in the bucket, and I don't think the squeeze is worth the juice for them. I think they would rather get those people to come on their platform so they don't have to share the revenue with Steam and these other storefronts, and not to give Xbox an edge. Also, too, their games, in my honest opinion, for them to be successful on PC, they'd have to release their games a lot quicker. They weren't releasing their games quick enough, and in the beginning, like everyone was like, "Oh my God, Sony games are coming to PC!" So everybody was going crazy. Everyone was buying up those games, and the novelty it kind of wore off. And I've always said that PC gamers and console gamers, they're two separate groups of gamers, and in large they are. But you still have some PC gamers out there that will grab a PlayStation to play a certain game. Maybe they just play that one game a year. I know a lot of PC guys that own a PlayStation. I own a PlayStation. I own several consoles, and there's a lot of PC guys out there that are picking. It's a different generation. Their little brother wants to play on the PlayStation, so they get it and they play with their little brother. So I think it's the 1.46% that they're going to lose. I think they're going to gain it with people buying their console and buying into their ecosystem, because this next gen, like Helix, is going to be blurring the lines, right? Because we'll get into that afterwards. But I think it was the right calculated choice, unless they were going to release their games day and date, which in turn they would make more money on PC. They would also lose some money on their platform. Remember, on their platform, they're getting the share of it. On Steam, they're not getting as much money for it, right? And once again, you're giving your competitor some of your games, and that's not something they want to do. Microsoft, whatever, they put their games on PlayStation. It is what it is. Sony clearly does not want to return the favor.
Well, I mean, that's an interesting point for sure. For sure. So my thoughts, and I do get to give them here. That's the one benefit about the show, is that PlayStation, Sony, the threat of holding back games or no future games coming to PC really doesn't. I don't really think it scares anybody, because they got 2 games this year. That's it. So 2 games will be considered exclusives. Anything that's third party, or that's multiplats, it's going to go everywhere. Any gas game is going to go everywhere. And if it didn't go everywhere, if it didn't go to the Xbox system, it's pretty much a nail in the coffin for any multiplayer game. If you didn't do that, if you didn't come to the Xbox ecosystem, that would be stupid. But like, Wolverine, I'm sure it'll be good. But I mean, obviously with some of the leaks they've already had out, a lot of people know kind of where they were going with it. Obviously they're going to tweak it a bunch more. It's going to be, it's a good company, so they're going to make a lot of good company that's developing it. So it's going to be good that way. But then again, it's also going to be a mature rated game, so that's going to limit some of the people that can play it. As far as the overall, I guess, consumption of the game. And it's I don't know. It's Wolverine isn't as big as Spider-Man, and that's just brand recognition as far as the overall characters in the Marvel universe. I mean, it is a good one, and one of my favorites. I love them too, but it's not necessarily going to be the big changer, I guess it was. And then the Saros game. It was basically
salute everyone. Hargeet send olives.
Salute to you, Adidas. For sure, for sure. And I did see somebody say in the chat that that Dirt and Shaun are going to be happy. I'm like, Dirt and Shaun are welcome to come on right now if they want to. So just saying, the platform is open to people that we've had on before. That's not a problem. And a big respects to D for jumping on today. He wanted to come on last week and we didn't have the opportunity to. So Hargeet gave him the link and he was able to jump on. And we always value opinions, whether I agree with them or not. And that's all there is to it. Like I said, D, a lot of respect because you've been on RDX for a long time when it was there. Kind of a love-hate thing. A lot of your takes I don't agree with, but that doesn't mean that you're not a good person and all that kind of good stuff. So it's just a matter of some people are more passionate about their opinions than others. And some people are right or wrong, depending on how they look at things. And everybody's allowed to have their own opinions. I just want to say that to the
FYI,
people.
new guy, little brother wants to play on his phone or his iPad. #CoPM.
That's true. That's true. A lot of little brothers would rather probably, a lot of the little kids that come out of the womb, they're ready to go on an iPad or a tablet more than they are playing games on console. One of the reasons why it hasn't grown. And that is definitely statistically proven that a lot of people aren't necessarily going to the newer consoles because of that. But I'm kind of digressing off the point. Let me get back to the topic of the machine. I think it's a good thing, and I think it's going to be pretty reasonably priced when it comes out. I think they are definitely going to be. We've heard that they are, as Kay alluded to it, they are looking for some. Maybe some different ways. And I think they've actually reached out to a couple of different partners to try and see if they can get a hold of the memory that they need to make this happen this year. They eventually worded had a statement, and they ended up tweaking it the next day to where it was, so because at first it sounded like, they're just going to come out when it can come out, but they're focused on getting it out this year by hook or by crook, one way or the other. I think it's still going to be coming out this year, the Steam machine, and I'm looking forward to it myself. I guess let's move on to a different topic, unless anybody wants to slap me down. And
I wanted to say real quick about Wolverine. It might not be as popular a character as Spider-Man, but I think this is the first true Wolverine game we're going to get. And I think a lot of people are looking forward to that because Wolverine in the past games and even in the movies, he's so watered down. And this version of Wolverine that Insomniac is cooking up, he's gutting people.
I in the movie.
Yeah, I think that's going to excite a lot of people. Now, I don't know if the game is going to be good or not because obviously it's not out and we haven't gotten too much stuff about it. But if the game is good and and gamers like what they see, that will be a driving force to sell some of their
being a system seller. I just don't see it being.
It depends. I think it will be, especially with the PlayStation 5 Pro out now and PSSR 2.0.
Yeah,
I think it's a possibility. And I wanted to say one more point too. You were saying that they only released 2 games this year. For sure, Sony's been a little bit sparse this generation. I'd probably say maybe their most sparse generation.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I know the way Sony works. When they have a sparse generation, that means they're cooking up a lot of stuff. And I think that the next generation, they're going to have a lot of stuff. And I think that's another reason why they're pulling their stuff from PC as well.
I mean, their first-party studios, they've shut them all down, right? So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how they, how much they can put out. But Wolverine will be overshadowed, and so we won't really know because there's another game coming out this fall, assuming it doesn't get delayed, called GTA 6.
Yep.
That will drive console sales, period. It will.
Definitely.
So, and so we will not know how much Wolverine did, unfortunately, because GTA will just totally overshadow it. There's just no way around that.
And then the next PlayStation 6 is not coming earlier than 28. No way possible. They just
it's coming out in 2027. I don't know.
You wanna put some money on that?
I'll put $50 on it.
I'll put you 100 on it.
I put 50. I said 50. So I put
50
on it.
$50.
But it's coming out in 2027. They're not delaying it. And if you know anything about the relationship between Microsoft and Sony, these guys, they released their consoles pretty much in the same window. I think it was just one time when the Xbox came out a year before them, but they're not going to even give Microsoft a chance to even be in the race by coming out a year early. They're both on track for 2027. I've been watching the chip for the PlayStation 5. They've been testing that chip for a while. So they're
PlayStation 6, you mean?
yeah, they're both coming. They're both coming out in 2027.
Well, like I said,
if one is delayed, then the other will be delayed. So if Xbox is delayed, which I don't think it's going to be,
it won't be
out next year as well. But I'm saying if it were to be delayed, it'd be like some type of RAM catastrophe where just the price is just too crazy, and that would cause the entire industry, like everything, like RDNA 5 would be delayed, everything would be delayed, and I just don't see that happening. They're both going to come out next year, and they're both going to compete.
Oh, I'm sorry. I gotta put this.
Why do you think that the PlayStation 6 is coming out in 2028?
That's funny. Because they're not anywhere ready to come out this early.
You see how long ago they made their announcement about Amethyst with AMD? They've been ready. They've been ready. They've been cooking up for quite some time.
Yeah,
and it's gonna come out in 2027, 100%.
Well, like I said, we'll see. 100%. We will find out if the end of 2027. If it's not out yet, then we'll
owe you $50, right?
Then no, I'll pay up for sure. I'll set you up PayPal and I'll send you your $50 if it happens. But if it doesn't, I hope the same. But if not,
I will. I will honor my bet with you. Don't worry.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Wow. 50 Canadian is like $20.
Yeah, stop it. We ain't that bad.
Close, but
I'll say $50 American. How's that? So that way you get a bonus if it's if you win. At least currently. Sorry. So anyway, like I said, I'm not disrespectful. Go ahead, Hargeet.
And I'll point out the 1% or 1.1 whatever percent is still $300 million, and that's pure profit that they're just foregoing. So any business would say, I don't know about that. That's not a great idea.
They have to add shareholders too. That's one thing.
Yes, they have to provide value to shareholders, right? So somebody's going to have to say, okay, this is why we did that, and how we're going to compensate you for not taking in $300 million. So we'll see what that means. I don't know. Like, again, if it's just for Steam Machine, I don't know if I would really forego getting that much money, but that's me.
Yeah. And there's
someone. So I read the super chat here that says the only console AMD confirmed that will be coming out in 2027 is Xbox. Listen, Vince 6, whatever it's CXX.
Be nice to my chat.
These are based on RDNA 5. RDNA 5 is coming out in 2027. Okay, so I don't know what to say to you there. You think RDNA 5 is coming out in 2027 and they're going to release these consoles in 2028? No, the pipeline is going to be aligned for all of these machines.
But
there's going to be some customizations on each machine for sure, but they're at the core going to be RDNA 5 machines, and that's going to be ready next year.
We'll see.
And maybe Microsoft wanted to leak that. I don't know, but so it was AMD. Like, is it Lisa Su? I think her name is right. The head of AMD, who came out and said that this year is Steam Machine, next year is Xbox, and did not mention PlayStation. They just say so. There is some validity to that maybe it isn't ready, but maybe it's
PlayStation
right?
will announce when it's ready. They have a strategic partnership with AMD, Project Amethyst, which is designed for the next generation. They have their own thing going.
Everybody has a strategic partnership, like Steam Machine has a.
Yeah, I can guarantee
Xbox has a massive partnership with AMD.
I can guarantee you that later on this year, you're going to hear more about the PlayStation 6. Anyone thinking that the PlayStation 6 is coming out in 2028, if based on delays of RAM, I could say is a reasonable thing. I see some people out there saying 2029, 2030, like absolutely ridiculous. My personal opinion, and we can agree to disagree on this, is that Sony's not going to let Xbox come out with a new machine and get a year head jump on them, especially when they've come out and talked about Project Amethyst with AMD for 2 years already.
We'll see, because I don't think that they have the finances in pocket to.
It's nothing to do about the finances. It's about what they put in already, and for them to delay it, they would lose a lot of money. Like it. I'm sorry, I just gotta disagree.
You're fine, but I just don't think it's delayed. I think that was their plan all along, because they wanted to milk the Pro.
The plan was always 2027. Was always 20. And people say, oh, they have the PlayStation 5 Pro. So what's happening here? Listen, this year is going to be end of life pretty much for the PlayStation 4. And everyone is going to have to either upgrade to a PlayStation 5 or a PlayStation 5 Pro going forward. So the PlayStation 5
in that ecosystem.
Yes, the PlayStation 5 and the PlayStation 5 Pro are going to become the new de facto, PlayStation 4. And then you're going to have the PlayStation 6 that comes out, and you're going to have
don't forget to clip it, the raised eyebrow emoji, $50
then you're going to have a cross-platform generation of the PlayStation 5, PlayStation 5 Pro, the PlayStation 6, and of course the PlayStation handheld.
And of course there's the new Xbox console coming out. We know next year, and of course,
it's launching with a handheld too. To be honest with you, I believe the handheld. This is my opinion. I don't know what they classify them as, but the handhelds, in my opinion, I think these are going to be the cheaper devices. The devices that don't cost as much, that you can also hook up. Although it's a handheld, you can also hook it up to your living room television or your monitor and play games on it as well, and not have to pay the higher price of a PlayStation 6 or a Helix console.
Yeah. All right. So let's. Asante, you've been awful quiet up there in the corner, and there is actually a little message up there for you, and I wanted you to go ahead and to read that, and then if you have any thoughts.
Difference is being ridiculous. He says he's waiting for the voice of reason to open up at any time. Not stop it. I mean, look. These are all opinions, and we're allowed to have them. That's fine. I'm not saying I necessarily disagree with anybody that's on the stage here. Do I see reason where people are talking about potential delays happening, right? But I also do understand why PlayStation would not delay their product, because they have not solidified any other endpoint, right? And if you don't solidify more than one endpoint, that is your only way you eat. So if someone else is coming onto the floor and that's the only way you eat, which is you buy my console, you play my games, it is in your best interest to make sure that console is ready to go that day, right? So if it's not, there may be an issue there. My only thought on all of this back and forth is that, at least on the Xbox side, it looks like they're no longer in the trenches having the battle, right? Others are in those trenches having the battle. They realize they can own the planet. They can own the solar system. So why bother be in the trenches? We could just be wherever you are, right? And they're just throwing their weight around that way. So I think that Microsoft, to the idea that they work in tandem, I don't think historically that has been the case. That's true, but I don't think you see that as much moving forward, because like they've basically spilled the tea all over the floor at this point. Doesn't matter if you're first to 1 million, get to 10 million, get to 20 million. We'll sell all our shit on your stuff. Like, we'll let you establish the ground, and then we'll walk in the door and hold up our hands, and everybody will pay us. So they don't care at this point, right? You can do whatever you want, to the point where I think Sony actually can sit a bit more comfortable, because there's no one coming for their neck at this point, right? Yes, that hardware will be available. Yes, I'm sure there will be third parties that will also have Xbox-like hardware available in the market, which all can be and look like competition. But that the days where we're just trying to move you out of the market, that's not happening anymore. You're there. You're established. People like you. You're PlayStation. You will continue to be there. We will continue to enjoy you being there, so we can do this, and then everybody can pay us. That's how it's going to work, right? So that idea of them fighting on the battlefield, yes, I think at some point Sony will diversify as well. But until they do, they want to keep their position in consoles. So yes, to Hargeet, to D's point, it is their best interest to make sure they're there every time a competitor's there. But that's because that's the only place they can eat. And the other competitors seem to be diversifying themselves a little here and there. So they may not be looking at the same fight the same way Sony is currently, if you understand what I'm saying.
I do. I agree. And shout out to John Wolf, where he said that all three of them are in their own lane, and they are right there. So yeah, pretty much they are in their own lane. And we'll see at the end which one works out best, as it were. So we do have a couple other topics and things to jump around to. Like I said, Steve, again, thanks again for joining us today. And I'm not trying to get rid of you, like that. I just want to make sure that I thank you for being here, and for what could be feet to the fire at some point. So
I'm waiting for the third rail, man. I got my rubber boots on, man.
Oh, that's so funny. That's so funny. Cool. Oh, goodness. All right, so let's well, first let's do this.
If you like this video, please hit the like button.
Oh yeah, please hit the like button. We do appreciate that. Over 265 people watching us live. Oh, Lotus, go put that up here real quick, Hargeet.
Yeah, Lotus gifts 5 WebDave memberships. Thank you so much, Lotus.
Thank you, Lotus. We appreciate you doing that for sure. If you want your own membership, it's only $1. That's it. That's all. And you can have access to all the wonderful emojis that we have in the chat today as well, including the Asante emoji. It's in there right now. Yeah, that's right. Oh, there's there's a Asante emoji. You didn't play. Come on, it's there. I promise. So yeah. Anyway, and then so let's switch over topics to
Yep. Well, which one do you want? Well, we could do some of these smaller ones and get them out of the way, and let's just spend a little bit of time on them and go.
Well, let's go to that. We got the Windows 11 mode. I got that one queued up, and then we got the DirectX innovation at GDC. So
okay, you want to go to the?
Which one?
I was going to say let's just talk about Marathon and get that out of the way, and then Paramount.
Marathon. Okay, we can do that. Yeah. Yep.
I don't know if we have too many. So has anybody here played a lot of Marathon yet?
I just got the game today. I got it gifted from Hunter. For the PlayStation 5 Pro, so I'm gonna try it on there. But no, I haven't played it. I've been too busy with Resident Evil, and I'm kind of preparing myself for Crimson Desert because I know that's gonna take up so much time.
Sounds like it's a good one, yeah. Crimson Desert. Kay, have you had a chance to play it? BG Maverick gets 5 memberships.
I've been playing a game I'm not allowed to talk about yet, so I have not. I have not been playing that. No, I have not been playing that, unfortunately.
All right. Well, so the Open Critic on it is 76 so far, with like 18 reviews. So I'm sure more will come out. We'll see. It's probably going to hover around there. Not bad. That's it's about like a 75, 80. That's a pretty decent score. It's averaging in the 40 to 50K range for players. Again, that's not bad. I think it's got
Stop
legs for it.
Play my damn theme song.
Oh, here we go.
All right, so let's P-Lump just for you, buddy.
They see me rolling.
Watch him rolling. Watch him go. Watch him rolling. Watch him go. He'd be rolling down the street. He'd be rolling to the beat.
There you go. All right. A little power.
All right.
Yes.
Yeah, so I hope that's enough for PlayStation, right? Because now Sony, PlayStation, they have to figure out whether that's sustainable enough to keep Bungie going or not, right? So as long as they are meeting whatever targets they need to, great. If this was not like Sony, I would say this is actually not bad. This is pretty good. I think that's not a bad amount. 50,000-ish people playing your game. That's a good amount, right? It puts them in the top 20 on Steam. Steam is the platform that has the most of the players for Marathon. So that's fine. Like I don't know what their targets are, and that's the big fear now is like, is this enough for what Sony wants? They've invested billions, literally billions, and they might have expectations and targets that may not be, being met at this point, right? And so we will see. But that's where I see it. I don't think there's a big topic, but like, what do you guys think?
I think 50,000. I think that's a pretty good metric. A lot of people. Yeah. They get so tied up on, it's just 50,000 people. That's at one time. You got different time zones, you got different days, and everybody plays at the same time. So that metric tells me that the game is selling pretty well. So I think that's good, especially after the last debacle of a live game that Sony released. I think this is good. I think aesthetically it looks good. Gamers are saying it's good. I haven't tried it yet myself, but I think this bodes well for Bungie. Bungie, I don't know why they ever allow themselves to be bought out. I have so many different opinions on Bungie. I don't know why Microsoft ever let Bungie go, because Halo's never been the same without it. Like, they're the heart and soul of Halo. Like when you play, I wasn't a big Destiny guy, but even when you play Destiny, you could feel the controls, the gunplay that you got used to with Halo, right? So I wish them the best. I truly do, and I think this game keeps them alive. I think they'll be fine, but what the future holds for them, I truly don't know, man. We're gonna have to see the longevity of Marathon, but at least it's off to a good start.
Fair enough.
So, my quick opinion, first off, my slight pushback, I will fight you for Halo Studios. They've done enough. I will stand with them.
Enough to kill
Even
it.
though I'm also a huge fan. I'm also a big fan of Bungie, but I actually stand with Halo Studios. I think they've done a pretty good job. I stand with Halo 4. Most people don't play Halo 4. Play Halo 4. That is 343 Studios, which did a damn good job, and still they don't get credit for that. But that's neither here nor there.
Well, Halo 4
honestly,
was fine. Yeah, Halo 4 was fine.
Halo 4 is excellent. To this very damn day, put that in a series console, it will stand alongside any other like a multiplayer or even single player looking the way it does. Graphically, storyline, it elevated the whole entire thing. They were just too busy chasing Bungie's shadow at that point. I still think Halo 4 is amazing. Anyway, I honestly think this is a good start for Marathon and for Bungie. I hope they're able to survive this, because I've always liked Bungie by and large, even though of course there's some shadiness in some of their past and whatnot. But I honestly do like that it's looking like it's on the up and up, right? The question I asked when I saw this was, so what will this turn into? Will this turn into a Ubisoft situation, or will this turn into a Concord Sony situation? Because it didn't strike the needle exactly the way they want, because obviously the numbers aren't astronomical. But if you look at Ubisoft, they've had that happen to them a few times, where a game comes out of AAA of a live service rather nature, and everybody thinks it's supposed to be the greatest thing since sliced bread, and they get nothing but criticism for it. You see them go into the lab and quietly work on that, and then before long, you have millions of players enjoying that game, and you forgot because you just moved on to something else. They are very good at honing their craft and finding the fun and keeping people there, right? Obviously, Sony is new at this, but their first entry, they threw a lot of money at it, and the minute people said, "Oh, we don't like something," they closed up shop and ran away. I hope that's not this situation, because it looks like they have a spark, and hey, if this doesn't work for Bungie, I feel like it may be a bad situation for them. So I'm hoping they work this out. I hope this works.
Yeah, I'll agree. I did play the Server Slam myself, and it was okay. It just didn't ring well with me. It just didn't do it for me. And it's just individual games right now. I am into arc raiders. That is my thing. So I'm just saying, I'm really enjoying playing that right now. And as the Burnt Peanut would say,
let's ride. You boys ready for a great raid?
Yeah, that's where I'm at on that. I love arc raiders, but it's just me. That's my personal. It's my hang up right now. It's that. Go ahead. You wanted to read one there, Hargeet?
Yeah, I don't know if this is true or not, but Razor Ultron puts out an interesting point here. Estimates are that Marathon sold 2 million copies. That's 80 million in revenue. And to be realistic, it's not, because a lot of that's coming on third-party stores where they only get 70% of that, right? So Marathon development plus marketing costs way over 80 million. That is true. It is going to be way over that. They've been developing
Marathon will travel the same path as Anthem. It will hang for a moment and drop off within 6 months.
Sounds like
a
possibility. So those are good points.
I'll say this, that the revenues, the game just came out. That's a pretty good start. If it stays on this path, they're going to recover their investment. I it's hard to say, but I don't think it's going to die down that quickly, because it is something different. It is something new. Until the next new hotness comes out, I think it'll do okay.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah, and it may recover it. I don't know what the microtransactions look like in this game. I just haven't played it to know. I don't know what continuous revenue they generate, right? So if there is something that they can continue to monetize those 2 million and continue to grow that 2 million, it may just work out. Again, I don't know what the target numbers are. We have to kind of figure that out, right? There must be some annual recurring revenue that they're looking for to keep Bungie going. And Destiny's still around, right? People are still playing that, so you still have that as well. It's fallen off, obviously, right? So, yeah, I mean, good luck to the teams there. I hope all the best for Bungie. I don't want any studio to be dying, right? but and especially these days, Sony just closes stuff. They just do.
Yep.
So I don't know how much chance they're going to give them, they're already on thin ice, as it were, right? With some of the other things that they've done. So, whatever. Good luck. I just hope they don't get closed.
Me too. I hope they don't get closed either. I don't want anybody to close down. And I guarantee you this thing of Concord is it's going to be weighing on their financials for quite a while to come. But we'll see. We'll see. Like I said,
Concord was a stinker.
It was, but I don't think Sony's going anywhere. I'm saying it like that it's not the end of the line thing, but they have definitely done some restructuring, and every company that needs to. I mean, that's why you do it. That's why you get your TV brands over to TCL. That's why you get your streaming rights over to Netflix. Those are because they need revenue to continue, because they've had a couple of flops in the movie theaters as well, and that's just the way business is business. It's not always, you're not always on top of the heap. Go ahead, Hargeet. Did you want to read that one, or? No.
Yeah, so it was just a good point that Helldivers, they keep churning out content every couple of weeks as new stuff.
Yeah,
it's just also their method of the way it works, right? Is that if the community does well, everybody wins, everybody gets points, right? So it just does, like, it makes it interesting to go back and keep playing, right? So, and even if you don't actually partake, you just like log in and you get all these points, and it's like, that's great, right? So. It's just an interesting model. So
So
you see
I don't tend to swim. I don't tend to swim in these waters, but I know y'all will appreciate it. The only game that they make that actually makes them any kind of revenue, that keeps churning out great content, and guess what it's backed on? PlayFab, which makes Microsoft a lot of money.
Yes.
There you go.
Helldivers 2, right? It's an Xbox
it's
game.
based on Microsoft. Yeah.
Yep. Hargeet, do you want to read that?
Isn't PlayFab free now?
Oh yeah, they're giving it away for free to those who agree to do the whole, deploy easy on Xbox thing. So we'll see it works. Yeah.
Pixelbit, shout out to Pixelbit. This industry cannot afford to lose another legendary studio, so I really hope Sony knows that. Yeah, they don't seem to care though. They will do what they need to do. They are pretty much on business. That's what they do.
Both companies have zero tolerance, man. They need to get their money back, man, because Microsoft, they feel no ways to kill a studio too. Let's not forget that.
I mean, they've only shut down 2 so far, right? So,
well, they shut down the studio that did Hi-Fi Rush.
They didn't shut it down. They sold it.
They sold it. Yeah, eventually it was sold.
Yeah, but regardless, they got rid of it, right? So
yeah, Crafton owned it. Yeah,
but they got rid of it and they have money from it. So
yeah.
There's a difference.
So they
should have kept
killed
it,
the initiative.
They should have kept it. It was a good studio. Give you something fresh, something new. That's not the
but the main guy left.
Yeah, the main guy left. In fact, his studio is...
The main guy left. The guy that made Resident Evil. What's his name? Mikami?
What was his backstory? Why did he leave?
He didn't feel like he had enough creative control, right? So he wasn't the head of the whole thing. He was project lead or project studio lead, whatever it is, right? So he was making the game, but there was still direction being given from corporate, as it were, even within Tango Gameworks, that he was like, well, I want to do what I want to do. And he's like, no, you're going to do this. And like, well, no. And so he decided, enough, I'm going to go create my own thing and I'll be independent. Mm-hmm. At least that's what we hear, right? That's what we hear. Yeah. So that, and then he took some of the better talent that was working with him to the new studio, and you're like, okay. Well, so like, all right,
they got gutted.
So yeah, it's like, well, okay, well now what? And so the only pitch they had, so the majority of the people that were working there for a couple of years were doing nothing, and then there was a small team working on hi-fi, and the person that did hi-fi said, like, hey, I can do hi-fi too, right? And they're like, that's cool, but like, what about the rest of the guys? It's like, and the problem with Microsoft is they have nothing in Japan to go fix that. So they're like, all right, we're kind of up. Like, goodbye.
Yeah.
Sucks.
Exactly. All right. So do you want to go to the DirectX conversation, or do we want to go to the Windows 11 mode? Because we probably need to start getting toward the final chapter.
Windows 11 mode, because I can give you some insight, because I'm beta testing it now. So
cool. So, okay, Windows 11 it is. We'll bring that up here. Hargeet, I'll let you read the highlights, and then we can go from there.
Okay, so your PC can boot into a full-screen console interface instead of the normal desktop. Once enabled, Windows launches into a controller-first gaming dashboard. You can browse your game library, open Game Pass, access the Xbox Store, launch games with a controller. Use cloud gaming. Switch back to the Windows desktop anytime. Microsoft
At
says
DBatch,
it-
Sony should have kept resistance, kill zone, siphon filter, ape escape, twisted metal, SOCOM, etc. Like, what are we even talking about? Keep it a buck.
Thanks, Cyber, for the $10.
Yeah.
Okay.
Gotta love that
Microsoft
British
says it
accent. Go ahead.
Yeah, that's the TTS. You can actually, I think you can set a different one as a default, right? But either way, Microsoft says it also reduces background processes and can free up around 1 to 2 gigs of RAM while gaming. It's designed especially for handheld PCs like ROG Ally and Legion Go. Rollout begins April 2026. Okay, yeah. So,
yeah, there you go. And then, of course, the so all right. So, D, if you got some insight, we'll let you start on it first, and then we'll go around and we'll get Kay's and then Hargeet's opinion.
Yeah, so if you're inside Windows Insider program and you download the Game Hub, the Insider Hub, and you enroll in the PC gaming part there for the betas, you'll get this rolled out to you. Now, when it first came out, you had the ability to boot right into the full screen experience, and then I don't know, maybe last few updates they took that out. I had to enable it going into the registry, so I have it enabled once again. So you can, from a cold boot directly into this, and the UI is pretty smooth. You can still use your mouse, but it's controller based. So I think you have to tab out to use your mouse. Actually, no, it's just controller based, and you still have all the stuff of your PC in the background running, just not everything. So like I'm still able to do like captures with it and whatnot. You can seamlessly go to Steam. So you can use the Xbox UI itself. I guess this is going to be the Xbox mode. They're probably going to just revamp it a little bit the way it looks. And obviously we know they're going to rename it, but it's going to be pretty much the same. And when you're in that specific UI, you can see all of your Steam games, all of your EA games or Ubisoft games, even like programs like, Afterburner, whatever. You can see them there and you can run them there. Now in the background, it'll open up Steam, whatever, and then it'll load into the game. You'll see Steam kind of pop up real quick and then minimize, and then it'll boot into your game. I'm going to assume with the Xbox mode, you're not going to see that pop up. It's probably going to happen in the background, but you're just not going to see it. Overall, it's a pretty streamlined experience. And then if you want, you can hold down the Xbox button and you can bring up Steam Big Picture, or you can load into the EA interface. You have many options, but I will say it is a very nice streamlined experience, and I think this could really help PC and kind of unify the gaming and kind of starve off Steam OS and the people using big picture mode, because I think it's pretty efficient. The only thing that we're not getting right now is the extra performance. Like I know it performs a little bit better, but nothing really worth talking about. I don't see that much decrease in RAM usage. It looks like the Xbox mode, they're going to revamp it even further, where it's going to run a lot less resources in the background. And, for me on PC, like, yeah, of course, I know how to use a PC to do everything that I need. But there's sometimes I just want to play my games. I don't want to have to deal with all the crap that comes with Windows. And I think this is where this mode shines. And also, I guess we're going to be basically beta testing it for a year and a half until it comes out on Helix, to make sure that everything is smooth for console players coming over to this PC environment. And that's the thing. This UI, yes, it's PC, but you don't feel that because all the other things that come with PC, they're not within this UI. It's just your games and your library of games. And I think this is really going to help console guys, coming up to this new Helix box, and not being worried that it's a PC or being overwhelmed that it's a PC. They're not going to have to deal with any of those things. It's going to be a similar experience to what they've experienced on the Xbox consoles to date.
All right. Asante, your thoughts?
So yeah, I too have been using the FSD on PC. I've used it for some time now as well. It's actually on this machine as well. I don't like it in dual. Like I use a multiple monitor situation, and it doesn't really work great in a multiple monitor situation. But without that, beyond that, it's still pretty good. So this is basically what, as it's been explained, this is basically what is currently on the handhelds. I have one right here. What's on the handhelds being brought to any PC that wants it, right? So Windows mode, and there's a ways in the registry you can enable it. There's been an app called Any FSE that you could deploy that basically would do that for any device for a while now, but this is them officially bringing it to standard PCs, right? So this is great. I hope they do some better work with the multiple monitor situation, because PC people use multiple monitors, and right now, if you do that, you don't really have the option to do much more than the initial monitor you have on. It blacks out all your other monitors. You can't do anything else with it. So that's why I don't use it all day, every day on my multiple screens. But otherwise, it's pretty decent. As D is saying, it doesn't give you that much overhead if you're a PC user. The 8 gigs of RAM that it will save you. You probably got a 64 gig machine or something like that. So your overhead is fine. So it's not necessarily the reason you use it, but it does give a nice streamlined UI, puts the PC-ness in the background, makes the loading of games and stuff like that pretty seamless. So I look forward to seeing this being kind of a front end that anyone can tap into. I think as recently as like a couple days ago, they changed the UI just a little bit. So there is a UI that you'll see inside. If you go to the Xbox.play, right, xbox.com/play, that UI is a little different than what you see in FSE right now. And it looks like they're going to bring that UI to FSE. Right now, the UI you see in FSE is basically the Xbox app, right? And when they streamline everything and they put it in the background, it looks great. But the one on Xbox.play, that one is actually far more streamlined and has a bit more console-like elements. So I'm waiting for that one to drop on there. This is not me spilling any tea. You can literally go under settings and see there's a PC mode in the cloud UI. It literally says PC mode there. So 1 + 1 = 2. Eventually it comes to PC. So there's that. I think when that happens, it'll be really, really cool. What I'm waiting on for real is when they start doing the interesting tests that they talked about here in GDC, right? Because that's when they start, adding back compat UI elements to this kind of thing, right? They're talking about making new ways to play your old school games, stuff like that. That's when I will be interested. All this is beautiful table stakes. It'll look nice. It'll be very pretty. Show me like what did they Fusion Frenzy. Show me Fusion Frenzy running on a desktop machine, which it will, because it can. Yeah, that's where the interesting stuff lies. So that's where that's when you'll see me perk up, and we'll get into Magnus and what it can and cannot and facilitate and whatnot. But yeah, there will come a time where it'll be very interesting to see what PCs can and cannot do. So yeah, there's that.
There you go. Hargeet?
Yeah, so I mean, I've also been running FSE for a while, and I was using Playknight before that. I still think Playknight is a little bit better, but
more mature.
But
yeah,
but it's getting there, and like it's still not taking away Windows. That's the problem, right? So as long as it like fully eliminates Windows, then it becomes a console type like experience, right? So until that happens, your update process is still based on what you have, right? So if you have chipset drivers you have to do yourself, or your video card driver you have to do yourself, or something like that, it's still something you have to go do, right? So until they get to the point where it's seamless like you have on your Xbox, I think they have work to do. There are other oddities like big screen, the Steam big picture mode, and then the Xbox interface. They both want the Xbox button on your controller, and so now you have conflicts. So what do you do with that? And that's a bad experience. We could work around it because we're techies, right? But who cares? That's not what you should have, right? Out of the box, it should just work, right? And this is stuff they need to like iron out. I don't know if they're working on that or not. They need to work that through with Valve and say, this is what we will do to make it work, right? So those are like, it's still Windows enough that it's annoying, right? So I think that needs to become like a hidden thing that goes in the background for those who want to have a console experience, right? So this is just
Dave.
Hold on,
hold on.
I must be seeing shit lol ain't no way lol.
Somebody jumps in like that. That's fantastic. Shout out to 108. If you, while they're talking about it, if you want, I went to xbox.com/play and I'm sharing the screen. I want to show you what I mean by that UI change. Go ahead, continue. It's in down there if you want to share it. There you go. There you go.
Sorry.
Yeah, that's what it looks like. So, sorry. This is the test UI that it's not on your desktop yet. It's only in the cloud, but this is what it looks like. But continue. Go ahead.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so and this is kind of where it's heading. You can see a lot of the elements are the same as what you have in the Xbox app, but they're just kind of reorganized in a more clean interface. And I think that's kind of a good thing, right? Instead of having, I think they have a lot of things on the left side, and now it's kind of on the top, and so it's good. Like I think this is where they kind of need to go and simplify things. Again, one of the other things that I'm not seeing again when they get to, and we'll talk about the Helix part of it. Where's the My Apps where I can see my various content apps, right? So the Hulu and Disney and Netflix and all that stuff. Where's all that stuff? It may not fit in this specific thing because this is targeting Windows users who want to play games. So fair enough, right? So if that's what this is intended to do, fair enough. That might be a different thing, but ultimately, this is kind of the precursor of what we might see down the road with Helix. So I kind of want to see where they go with it. But hey, this is going to be available to everybody next month. We got another one.
Yep.
Asante will have 2 Super X's, bro. We got to talk.
That's a lot of hardware that man has under his belt. We got to talk, man. All right. Very expensive devices, Super X's. Anyway.
One more.
Oh, we got another one.
Make it make sense. What are we doing, WebDave?
We're having a conversation. We are having a conversation, sir.
Yeah. So again, like I think the interface has work to do to be very cohesive. But I like. I've been saying this, right? This is a journey. We're gonna go on this journey with them, and it will eventually get to something that's pretty good, right? But you need to give them a little time to kind of get it to the point where it's like there. There's a lot of little nuances. They just recently added, for instance, the sounds that you get when you move around the UI, right? That you get from the Xbox console.
Yeah,
they brought that to the app, and it may be stupid, but it actually makes a difference because you feel and hear, right? Because you're actually seeing what's happening, and you hear, oh yeah, it's moving. It's not like not
familiarity, and it's familiar.
Right. And yeah, it's another little thing. The other thing I don't like is the achievements. They don't look the same, right? I pop a diamond achievement. I don't hear the same diamond achievement, I don't hear that. Why don't I hear that? Right. So again, it sounds stupid, but these little nuances matter, and they have to start bringing that in, right? And so that you have the same kind of experience, like you're really feeling like you're an Xbox, right? So these things kind of have to be worked. Another major part of this, of course, is this is all PC games. It's not your Xbox games. That may never happen for normal Windows machines. I don't know what the status of that is. I don't know if anybody got an answer to that, but that may never happen for Windows standard machines. That may be a Magnus, a Helix type only option, right? Nope. So we will see. So and then as far as like the availability, you won't have to go to preview anymore, so that's cool. So next month it's coming out to everybody. If you want to try it out, it'll be available. You'll go into your control panel, you can turn on full screen experience, which I guess they will now call Xbox mode, and then you can tell it which app you want to use, which will be the Xbox app. I don't know if they're going to allow other ones at this point or not, but you will tell it, hey, start up with the Xbox app. It does offer some other options of things you want to auto start as well in the background, when you boot up, and if you want those to start only when you're in Xbox mode or when you're in desktop mode. So if you decide to go to desktop mode, it'll bring up other applications. Think of things like Discord, right? You might want to bring that up. So you can tell it, hey, I want to boot up Discord even in the Xbox experience because I want to be able to use that for my chat, right? Totally fair. That's an option. So these are the kind of things. There's a lot more integrations I think they can work on with various partners to kind of make that seamless as well. Think of things like Discord, right? To kind of make that all seamless. So they can continue to keep refining this. I think there's a good journey here, as long as they're aggressive with it and make it a good potential capability. We should be looking at something cool. We got another one.
WebDave has more commercials than Hulu lol.
What? Is it commercials are a lot? Well, they shouldn't be. I'm sorry.
The journey.
Oh,
hold on
a second. Silent Cypher gifts 50 WebDave memberships. Wow.
Silent Cypher, thank you.
Silent Cypher.
Generosity knows no bounds. So that is amazing. Thank you.
Hargeet, that journey is going to have to be really quick, because they've already confirmed that Xbox mode is going to be the same mode that runs Helix. It's going to be the same UI. So basically, this is going to be the beta test to get it up and running correctly, and they're going to share the same UI. They're not going to have a different UI. As far as the, I guess we can get into the backwards compatible games when we talk about Helix, but this is the direction going forward. It's kind of obvious at this point on what they're doing, and I don't want to say they don't have a shot. I can't honestly say that. I can say it's uphill.
Microsoft?
Microsoft with their Helix for the next gen.
Yeah, and that's where we're going to disagree on just about anything else from here.
Well, for starters, it's going to be very expensive, right?
Yeah.
So I'm not saying that the hardcore Xbox guys are not going to get it, and I'm not going to say that there's going to be some casuals that get it. But if that thing is priced, what we're hearing and what I think, between $1,200 and $1,500, that is not going to be a massive seller. It'll be something that maybe would get 10-20 million over the lifetime of its
we'll see
existence.
We'll see. Plus the OEM.
That's why.
But
the OEM factor is not Microsoft. It's not Xbox. It's more Windows. Just like the Xbox, Microsoft runs the OS to PC, sure. But when Asus is making their systems, when they're making their GPUs, it's a completely different thing, right? The Xbox made Helix console is an Xbox Helix made console. An Asus OEM box is not the same thing. And as well, other PCs being able to do the same thing, what advantage does the Helix have at that point besides the price, if they price it right? But we'll get into that afterwards.
But then again, you got one thing to remember is that Microsoft isn't necessarily in it to have console sales, because they're the number one publisher in the world right now. So I would assume that they just want to make sure it has an avenue for their content to get out there. That's why they're diversifying to making sure that they're inclusive everywhere, because they are a $4 trillion company, and they do definitely make a lot more money than Sony does.
I don't think their content is going anywhere. If you look at any of my posts on social media, I've never once said that they're going to be unsuccessful with their gaming or their studios. I think their games are going to be fine. I think the studios are going to do fine. I think it was smart of them to diversify and put their games on other platforms, because their own platform's not selling any of their games really. So I think they're going to be fine on the game home front. It's the hardware that I don't think they're going to go past Helix. Helix, I'll say this: Helix has to be successful. And if Helix is not successful, that's the end of them making hardware themselves.
Success is not the measurement that Microsoft goes on. You personally, your standard, your quote unquote Sony-ism standard for success isn't what the market dictates.
What does the market dictate, WebDave?
Well, it's obviously there's definitely the games that they're putting out. And
their games are going to sell on PlayStation 5. They're going to sell on PlayStation 5 Pro. They're going to sell on PlayStation 6. They're going to sell on Nintendo. They're going to sell on regular Windows.
Exactly.
How is Helix going to push that forward?
Because there'll be people that are diehard fans that want to continue to have those games. And they're
where are those diehard fans now with the Xbox?
There's three of them right here on the show, right?
Okay, but where are they in the general public? Because the sales are in the toilet.
I don't know what numbers you're reading, but
the sales are in the toilet. That's like, you can't even argue that fact. The sales are in the toilet. I'm not here to
2-1, right?
I'm going to be objective on this show, but we're going to have to deal with facts. And the
But
facts are
exactly. And
is
the
that
fact
the
are that
sales
Sony
are
has a lot of
absolutely
inflated prices. You remember
horrendous
all
for
of
the
their
Xbox
console
console.
sales aren't consoles. Probably 30 million of those are the little handheld device, the little portal thing that they sold that they categorize as a PlayStation that are in their numbers.
I'm not sure that that's true. I think they do categorize their financials. They do
They
categorize
actually
their
said that
consoles
when they
as a
referred
console.
to it. They consider them a console.
My opinion, Xbox, the publisher, they're going to be fine. They ain't going anywhere. Those
And they're
games
not
are
going anywhere on consoles.
those games are going to continue to. Well, first of all, I don't know if we're gonna. I guess we're jumping into Helix. First of all, that's it. The console's dead. It's going forward. It's PC, and they're going to do they're going to do backwards compatible via a virtual layer and emulation for the series consoles. They're done with consoles. At GDC, they're telling you to build your game for the PC. They're not telling you to build your game for the console.
Can I ask you what your barometer is for
Yeah.
console versus PC? First of all, before we
What do you-
continue, what do you consider a console versus a PC?
At DBatch, what did the market dictate about Concord? What are they dictating about Marathon? Why did Sony ditch a ton of IPs? Yep, what I thought.
Well, the market dictated that Concord sucked, and that's the end of that. The market is dictating that Marathon is doing okay.
What are you
that
talking
is
about,
that.
guy? Go get you some man, make it make sense. This pony is delusional.
Okay, when someone, okay, first of all, debate me with facts. If you're going to come at me, dispute what I'm saying. Show me some numbers that say that Xbox is not selling a lot of
Let's
consoles.
first go with Asante's question.
Yeah,
What
okay,
is
so
a
the
console?
difference
What is your
between
barometer of success?
a difference between a console and the
Be right
PC is definitely the
Yes.
OS, right? It's the OS,
Okay.
it's the binaries, it's the execution of everything. Okay, PC plays PC games, right? So they're two different operating systems. The way that they're going about blurring the lines is because they're going to do it emulation. They're going to do it pretty much the way that they do it with the 1X games, where they handle the backwards compatibility that way in all the binaries, and it's going to be basically emulation. Going forward, they are PC, but what they're trying to do is keep those people's licenses and games intact and doing sort of a fan service for the fans going forward to preserve those backwards compatible games. And that's why they're coming to PC.
So one thing you must, first and foremost, they've been emulating and doing virtualization since the 360, like since after 360. Xbox One and onward, they created virtualization layers for the 360. They created virtualization layers for the Xbox OG, right? And ever since, they've
48
been
million
creating
Xbox
virtualization for it.
sold, if you don't count Switch 2s.
So technically, well, let's
Get out of here and go play on your 5090.
Come on, stop. And the British accent makes it so like just so disgusting. Anyway, I'm sorry. Let's continue. So if your barometer is how the hardware is shaped, they've shaped that a long time ago. As far as the software is concerned, they've also been running a Windows kernel since like the original Xbox, right? Like the idea of a console has moved away from technical spec to marketing term a long time ago. It went the way of Forever Physical, right? And people don't even know the Forever Physical's dead. They're still buying discs, right? So that's why I'm asking where your barometer of it sits. I think the reason why people push back on what you're saying is you're making it seem like that change happened now, and now they're going to PC. Like it's been a PC for years. What do you call it? PlayStation has been running a BSD version of Unix sitting in your living room for years, but they don't call it that, so you call it a console.
No, see that this is the argument that I just
okay.
If it was a PC, end of story. If it was a PC, it would be playing PC games. We're not comparing the hardware. Yes, we know the hardware is similar. Yes, we know, it's x86. Yes, we know it's similar, but it's still not a PC. It's not playing PC games.
Today, you could go into dev mode on Xbox One and Xbox 360.
So I understand that. And you could do emulation. You can. So let me explain this to me. If it's truly a console, why is the feature of backwards compatibility coming to PC, and PC will also be able to play these console games?
Because technically it always has been able to. Virtualization is hardware agnostic. right? Now, and we're going to get a little bit into the weeds, but let's just say this. I think what they're doing is both interesting and hilariously craven for those who don't know any better, okay? Hardware for virtualization layers is hardware agnostic. It is. It has been for a very long time. I deal with virtual hardware all the time.
Okay,
But,
you're making way too much sense for this guy.
Stop it. But, let's finish.
This is what you wanted? At least you won $50, Dave. Smiley face emoji.
That was just getting wild. Anyway, but basically the reason why this is an interesting place that they're living is why is it coming to those binaries? Because if you've made deals with, say, Take-Two, that you want your games to live on a console, right? You can't now switch it up and go, oh, now it runs on anything. There needs to be a designation of console. And back when they wrote those contracts, that console wasn't really a console anyway. Y'all got to stop this. Stop that. The console wasn't a console like that anyway, right? Like, there needs to be a reason why they're able to keep their console store and paradigm together, and they're using Magnus as that barometer. But make no mistake,
man nor touch grass.
But make no mistake, the reason why you can take those console binaries and put them on a PC is because you could have always done that. Like, it was their idea, Microsoft's idea of a console has always been a pre-packaged, beautiful looking PC that hid all of that way back when.
Actually, some of the things they're not going to be able to do. Some of the things they got to do through emulation. I don't want to get into all the weeds.
Explain. Please explain.
Oh,
explain.
I got to go back to
the weeds is where I live.
Well,
Let's go.
I have to go back to what an engineer sent me. Just hold on. I got to go.
Okay. Because I'm an engineer, so we can.
Before you go down this entire road, is there any confirmation that you can get all these games on anything but Helix?
No, that's the thing. There is no confirmation that you can get any of this stuff on Helix besides Helix day one.
Yeah,
they're talking about they're talking about letting you play your existing games in new ways. But for me, and this is just pure speculation on my part, I think this will happen only with their own first-party hardware, right? That's it. Their own first-party stuff, hardware, software. You might see some interesting stuff happen there. I don't foresee them putting that anywhere else.
I can totally see that. I can see them saying our games that were Xbox games, we can certainly, because they can do whatever they want there. Right?
They can do whatever they want with their stuff.
You can lead a whale to water, but you can't make them drink it. Trying to reason with a pony as delusional as they are is pointless.
Wow.
All right, guys,
calm down. Finding new ways, man. New ways. All right.
Okay, so this is what the engineer sent me. So he said, it's going to be probably the exact same method as Xbox uses for backwards compatibility. Currently, typically PC emulators solve translation of old binaries very generically across a wide array of hardware. Xbox directly maps, for example, Xbox One code directly to the Xbox Series X code, which has much better compatibility and performance, but the trade-off is you need to do this for every supported CPU GPU configuration. For Helix, Xbox brand devices will probably get supported by Xbox, so it's probably, and he goes on to say it's probably only going to be supported by AMD GPUs. So he's pretty much saying as well that the APUs that will handle this will just be AMD. So apparently it won't be like it's going to come to PC, but it won't be for NVIDIA GPUs. That's what this engineer is telling me.
Yeah. So again, like we understand that it's got a lot of PC and console DNA, but that's where it always has been, right? It always has been.
But if it's coming, okay, I understand that the console was running on a Windows kernel. Yes, we know this, but it was still a console. And what makes a console is that it plays console games, and it plays console games only. Now, this is a hybrid. I'm not going to say it's not a hybrid. It is a hybrid because it's going to be playing PC games and it's going to be playing console games. And it doesn't matter if it's via emulation, whatever. It is. But my point is that at its core, it is a PC, and it's fundamentally forking off. It's forking off from what it's forking off from where a console is, because going forward, they're telling you to build your games on PC. It
So,
is a
okay.
PC. We can do all the semantics that we want and say, oh, a
Right.
PlayStation's
Yeah,
a
but
PC.
that's you
This is a
making your
PC.
determination of what a PC and what a console is, and
No,
by its
it's
technical
Microsoft trying to
definition, it's
redefine
always
what a
been that
PC
way.
and a console is. Will they be successful? We'll see. But at the end of the day, it's a PC. And
It's
other
always
you know how you
been
know it's a
this
PC?
technical
Because
definition.
other PCs that'll be in the market are going to have the same ability to
At
do
its
it.
core,
So
it's
it stops being a
console. They
console. It
already
stops being
said
its
it's a
own thing
console, you
when you can get
delusion
off the shelf
Sony.
parts that do the same thing.
But that's see again, and I can debate you on the logistics of it all, but your barometers that you're choosing are all barometers that can be easily dissuaded. Like you can easily rip it apart because you've been able to put off the shelf parts together to build an Xbox during the 360 gen.
Yeah, but it didn't play the console games. That was the big difference. It didn't play the console games. Now you're gonna have
so what you're saying is
that
a
plays the
console is
games.
defined by its encrypted.
We had
closed
you
information.
know what? In all
Well,
honesty, you
understand this
don't have to
mental
even take
gymnastics
my word for
that
it.
is being
Digital
unfolded
Foundry
in
came
front
out
of
today
our
and said
eyes.
the exact same thing, that it's a PC. They said the exact same thing, and they said that going forward, you're just going to be building the games for PC. Now, they are far more qualified than all of us here, so I don't know what to say. It's an argument that I'm going to argue like every day with Xbox fans. Instead of them just accepting the fact that Microsoft is going the way of PC and accepting that, embracing it for what it is, and just see where the chips lay. But trying to play semantics that it's not a PC to deal with some type of cope, I'm just going to have to respectfully disagree. And this is a conversation that we're just going to have consistent arguments on, because it's a PC, brother. It's a PC.
So honestly, you haven't debated me on whether it's a PC or a console. You don't even know whether I think it's a PC or console. You're fighting a fight that you've been fighting before.
So I'll ask you directly. Do you think it's a PC or a console? Okay. Do you think it's mostly a PC or a console? What do you define it as?
Console over the word of Digital Foundry. Calling it a PC.
It's marketing. Xbox called a Rogue Ally an Xbox, and it was a handheld PC. It's marketing. Don't fall for it. Xbox guys consistently, generation after generation after generation, and I've been there for 23 years of it, fall for the marketing. It's marketing.
Okay. So
yikes.
My thoughts on it is that the idea of a console PC hybrid, that idea has been in the mix since, I think, like it was even in the early days of Xbox. They were trying to build that hybrid console PC, right? To the point where even before they had their own console, they gave like Windows CE to Sega to build the Dreamcast, right? So it's always been like the idea that it's a PC today and it wasn't a PC then is where I think the discrepancy lies, right?
It was not.
It's always been both. Because at the end of the day, to the normal consumer, a console is a closed ecosystem, right? That's what it is. A closed ecosystem where you play your games, you hit play, and it works. That's been the definition of a console.
Do you think the PS Portal is really a PS? Asking for a friend, eyes emoji.
But Microsoft has kind of married both since day one, and they've been in there
or
for how long
now? It's sent out developer kits to devs. Smiley face emoji.
Yeah.
Well, first of all, that's one of the developer kits. First of all, those are coming out in early 2027. Now, if you know anything, RDNA 5 is not out yet. So if you want to get, the proper hardware of what RDNA 5 is going to do when it doesn't exist today, you would kind of need a developer kit. Also, we've seen some documentation out there that you don't need a developer kit to develop games for Helix. You can just use a PC. So I don't know. There's a lot of misinformation going out there, and this, my opinion on this is that Helix is nothing but a PC that is going to do emulation to preserve the backwards compatible titles.
So, do you consider a Steam Deck a PC or a console handheld?
A Steam Deck is a PC.
Okay, so by that definition, then they're all PCs. They have been for a long time. Because by your definition, you would
a Steam Deck runs Steam games, which only live on PC.
Because it's but it's a closed ecosystem, right? But it's kind of a hybrid ecosystem.
It's still a PC that plays PC games that only reside on PC.
Sure. Okay. So, all right. See, that's what makes all of this, and WebDave, you're muted. That's what makes all this a little bit difficult, because there's a lot of technical terms that actually have real meaning in engineering, and then there's
a PC.
They've been turned into marketing terms. So, and when you turn them into marketing terms, they tend to have meanings of their own, and because the zeitgeist believes them so much, they become true in the zeitgeist, even though there's another technical term that it may or may not mean. Like for me, this is them marrying console and PC together, right? They've all, like, the process that they are doing here with Helix is no different than what they did back with Xbox One. The only difference is now they're not hiding the seams as much as they did back then. They're literally putting your emulation layer next to your like compatibility layer in PC and letting you have access to both. Whereas before they were doing the same thing and then hiding the compatibility layer, which is still there because it's the Windows kernel after all.
To me, they got their dream of having PC in the living room, and they're gonna appease Xbox fans with game preservation, via backwards compatibility emulation on PC. They're going PC going forward. That's the plan. That's where they are. And the backwards compatibility layer is just so that you don't feel like you wasted all your time and investment with Xbox. They're going to allow you to play these games via backwards compatibility. Now, if this system comes out and this is not on PC, and then maybe we could have a different conversation. But to my knowledge, all of these things are coming to PC. The Xbox mode is coming to PC. Xbox mode is going to run Helix. They're teasing Xbox 25th anniversary, new exciting ways to play your backwards compatible titles. What the hell do you think that is? Not
again, specifically. You're making that's for this guy.
That's to play your backwards compatible games. Now, you guys can be upset with me all you want, but it doesn't negate the facts. And come 2027, if these things don't come to fruition, then you guys can rain on me then. But to say this, it's out of the realm of possibility of what they're doing when they're actually telling you what they are doing.
The debater man, you're wrong.
Well, one thing.
I don't honestly tell you, I don't care what you fans think out there. Honestly, you guys can send all your replies all you want, because the truth of the matter is the consensus is pretty much out, and anyone that has any type of technical prowess is saying it's a PC. And if you look at the GDC literature on what they want, how they want you to build these games, they're not saying build these games on console and then we're going to bring them to PC. They're saying build it on PC and we'll handle everything else to distribute it across the stack. It's a big difference.
Well, okay. I have to ask a question.
Okay, Asante. It'll sink in.
Stop it. Y'all need to stop. Y'all need to stop with the slanderous super chats. Anyway, look, the only thing I think that I need to ask, right, is because I think a lot of people, at least this is I don't know, clearly you guys have been having this back and forth for some time. I'm new to all this back and forth that y'all are having. So forgive me. I'm catching up.
Computer. That's better anyways. Man shrugging emoji.
So the question I need to ask, D, let's say it's a PC. Why is that a pejorative? You making it sound like, well, it's just a PC. Because as if it lost something.
Because then what does it do special? What designates it a console? Then? What does it have that nothing else has? Because if it's a PC, there's 1,000 million configurations out there that can do the same thing. So why as a consumer am I going to invest in this?
You cannot make this up. This data out of here.
Why am I going to invest in this Helix if I can do all this stuff on the PC? Why am I going to invest in this Helix when it doesn't even have exclusive games to it that I can't play anywhere else? I might as well just build an off-the-part RDNA 5 PC.
That's it right there. Hold on. That's it. You conversation over because of what you just said. Somebody that wants a PC and they want gaming that's PC and console, they don't have to build it. They don't have to build a fucking thing because
get a pre-built
Helix. Why? when you got a console, something simple. You can hook up to your TV. You can sit on your chair, plug and go. You ain't got to buy a pre-build. You ain't got to configure nothing. It's all ready to go outside the box. That is why it's important. It's convenience.
I'll agree with you there. I'll agree with you there, and it's gonna really come down to the price point at that point.
We'll see.
And to be fair, what they're talking about with the Magnus chip, you can't walk into Best Buy as Paris has said hysterically on Twitter. You can't walk into Best Buy and buy one, right? You can't build one. You can't go to Micro Center and have it configured for you.
You can't buy a Helix.
The SoC itself. But the point is, when it's ready to go, the SoC itself
better mail.
Well, the SoC itself will offer things that, by very nature, we've been discussing, will offer some things that PCs can't and won't be able to do by themselves, right? So there'll be a need for that hardware. I
think the SoC, what it does is it basically gives you an all-in-one and perhaps gives you something cheaper than what you could build on PC on its own. I'll give it that. But as far as capabilities, AMD's been pretty clear that there's going to be Xbox abilities on their RDNA 5 stuff. She's pretty much come out and said that already. So it's also going to trickle over to the PCs,
you won't be able to just buy at a store, right? You won't be able to buy an RDNA 5 SoC with Xbox specific chipsets on it. That won't be.
But you might be able to buy a RDNA 5 GPU that is Xbox designated.
So all right.
Hargeet.
So I haven't said anything so far. I've been waiting. Like, this has been a good back and forth.
Has been.
So D. So as far as your thought process, you don't see anything to differentiate it. I'll give you the things that will be differentiated. First, if you want to have the Xbox wireless connection, that will only be available on Xbox hardware. So if you want to use your current series, the Elite Series 2, that will only work on an Xbox, right? Otherwise, you're using Bluetooth. So if you want to do that connection,
you can use a dongle on PC and you can use it on PC.
D, shut up now. I'm telling you what's actually there. You know why I know? Because I fucking
You're telling me to shut up, but last week you told me they're not going to do emulation, and I don't know anything.
Stop.
And they are doing emulation.
Listen.
Right? So what are we talking about here?
Enough. Just shut up for 2 seconds.
Hey, I'm the only one that's allowed to yell.
Hardware.
Okay, go ahead, Hargeet.
Can you shut up for 2 seconds?
Yep, I can mute him if I need to, but we're good.
Okay, D, have you developed hardware for Xbox and PlayStation? I have. Have you done that?
What have you developed?
I can't talk about it because it never came out.
Well, then don't say it. Then. If it never came out, then we don't know.
Oh my fucking God, dude.
Anyway, I believe you, Hargeet. Go ahead.
Am I able to buy an RDNA 5 PS6? Smiley face emoji. Diamonds are for bots, not for ponies. Better mail.
Okay.
So, D, if you're going to just insult me like this, then you can just fuck yourself off and I'm going to kick you out. Bye.
There you go. All right, cool. Well, thank you. Go ahead. Now, Hargeet, go ahead and make your points.
All right. So, anyway, that was pretty ridiculous. All right. But either way, look, there are specific things in the hardware going to need.
Hybrid console plus full PC, Steam/Epic, mods, keyboard/mouse, but locked Xbox firmware, no overclocking. 68 RDNA 5 CUs, FSR Diamond. Pony, it's not just PC, Logic says hybrid wins. Okay, then technically all consoles are made with PC hardware, even PlayStation, so Xbox is basically a better PC than PlayStation PC because PlayStation is a closed PC versus a more open PC like Xbox.
Okay, one more.
I'm pretty sure this PC will get console games day one without waiting like PCs sometimes. Sounds like a console to me.
Well, there's another one, sorry.
I have the Xbox dongle for my PC that gives me Xbox wireless connection with my controller.
All right. Okay, so Hargeet, the floor is yours. Jimmy, by the way.
Yeah, so and then on that totally derailed my entire thing anyway. So you will also get the ability to say start your system with a controller, which you don't just get with the general PC. Okay, so Steam Machine, for instance, has that ability, right? So it is trying to do something that your consoles do today, which you don't get with the general PC. So that is another capability you'll likely get with Helix, right? So we don't know what this is going to look like. They haven't actually told us anything specific about Helix. What they did tell us about is what they're planning to do for development, right? Making the development process easier is a great idea. All right, here we go.
No, I'll pause that. I pause it. So we'll get to that later.
So
everything's in a queue.
So look, there's plenty for us to understand and learn. I did not get from them, hey, this is exactly what's going to happen with Helix. You can glean some hints, maybe. But it did say it's pumping out from the same development process the Xbox Series version of the games, an Xbox version of games, and a PC version of games that can go to Steam and their store. Right? That was what they kind of showed us, right? So how does that take away from the new development process going to a console if the Series consoles are getting it? Those are not consoles. So I don't know. Is the Series console now no longer a console? I guess maybe in this definitional world, maybe it isn't. But to me, it is. But again, a console to me is simple. It's a controller-based interface to something that connects to your TV. That's it. It plays games. That's all it has to be. That's all it has to be. So what is the issue here? So, I don't know when this comes out. There's going to be a Windows 12. Are we going to get quick resume in Windows? Are we going to still continue with Xbox OS and it will handle quick resume? We have none of these answers yet. Are they going to take that away? Probably not, right? So there's plenty of things yet to be understood with Helix. But unfortunately, too much FUD out there and way too much passion about this being a PC versus an Xbox. It's a console because it's a console connected to your computer. Connected to your TV that plays games and has a controller interface. That's all it needs to be. That is the definition of a console. That's it. So if it's doing that, it's a console. But it's going to have features that will be somewhat more specific to that TV interface that you don't get in a general PC. I don't have that today. I have to use I use my phone to do to do a boot wake on LAN for my PC so that I don't have to go and hit the button on my PC that's under my TV. Right? That's just available to you today when you pick up your controller. You hit the Xbox button and it works today. They were looking at even having that. You pick up the controller and it turns on automatically, right? Everything just turns on. Those are cool features, but how's that going to work? It's a console that does that, right? Is your general PC going to do that? Probably not, right? So these are things you'll have, right? And Steam Machine has some of these things that they're doing as well. So that's how it is going to be somewhat differentiated. But again, we don't know anything yet. Let's wait until they tell us. Then this whole idea we need to make it somehow distinct between PC and console. Who gives a crap? You get to play games. I can put in dev mode and play those PlayStation games. Okay, cool. You can emulate other things that are from PC on there. Okay, cool. Whatever. I don't care. It's just freaking playing things. Native code versus emulated code. Again, it's all running from whatever libraries are available for the actual hardware you're running on. So if your GPU can't give you the response that's necessary for what you've already coded, they have to translate. In most cases, Xbox One onwards, it'll just work native because it's still a same AMD GPU with an AMD CPU. That's it. Yep. So I don't know. I don't know why we have this whole annoying thing about PC versus console. It's the definition of a console is simply a gaming machine that has a controller interface. That's it. So, it is one of those. That's it.
The point I was trying to make ultimately, and I think it's unfortunate that DBatch couldn't have been here for the whole show, but the point I was ultimately trying to make was that probably the reason why people will say PC in a pejorative light is because PC has not necessarily had the best history in PC in people's zeitgeist, right? Whenever you think PC, all the problems, this and that, right? But ultimately, the ecosystem was built, trained on the backs of the people who are trying to change that paradigm right now, right? The same company who built the PC paradigm in your head are the same people that they're talking about changing it. So this, to me, is he right that they're changing the paradigm somehow? Yes, they're definitely changing the paradigm somehow. They're bringing what they consider the best of console and the best of PC together and creating a fusion of the sort, right? Helix speaks to that. Shout out to the great Pixel Big G. He's calling it the Xbox Nexus. I'm floating that idea. That's a great name. I think it's going to be a combination of the two. But because people keep remembering the pejorative nature of oh, PC gen pop, you have to figure it out all yourself. People are assuming that this is just them rubber stamping something dumb on it and just throwing you in the PC waters, when that clearly is not what they are doing. Right? They are fusing what works best on the PC side, as far as the unlimited compatibility, mixing that with the controller first UI and the less cruft of Windows, right? And bringing you the best of both worlds. That is not a PC of today, right? That is not a PC of today. I have a bunch of handhelds. I have it even on my PC, on my mainstay PC. You can get somewhat in that, but when you're doing that, you're still loading full fat Windows on top. I run Tiny 11. Look it up. It's the tiniest version of Windows 11 you can find. But at the end of the day, it still ends up being a full fat version of standard Windows 11 that gets thrown on top. Helix looks to change that and looks to customize Windows in a more modular way, so that it's not the regular Windows on top of a UI. They're actually building something uniquely different. So calling it a PC in that pejorative way, I think triggers people, because at the end of the day, it's not just a rubber stamp on what you know today. It's a rethinking of it by people who built both sides in the first place. So maybe we wait and see what it looks like before we put the pejorative stamp on it. Chances are it may change the equation, or it may be at least something different than what we're assuming. At least that's where I'm thinking of it. But yeah, again, I think it's unfortunate he couldn't have joined us and had that debate. But anyway,
no, well, like I said, he would not quit talking over Hargeet. I mean, everybody gets a place to talk, and we've given plenty of time to talk, but we just need to take a breath and let Hargeet talk. And as soon as Hargeet started talking, he kept interrupting, and that was Hargeet's prerogative, as he has co-host of the show, to put him in the back. And then he decided to leave himself. So he was in the background, and then he decided to go ahead and leave. That was on him. So not on us. But if we couldn't get a word in edgewise, because he kept trying to make his points, wrong or right, mostly wrong in my opinion. But it was his prerogative. And again, no, you were kicked out of the show part. That's correct, but you were not kicked.
I know, I kicked him out of the thing too.
Okay. I apologize for that, D. I didn't realize that. But yeah, but again, that is Hargeet's prerogative, because he is also the co-host of the show. And there you go. So sometimes people just don't listen. Anyway, I do appreciate you coming on, and thank you for the insight that you did give us. And we'll see what happens in the future if you ever decide you want to come back on. But for now, let's move forward. We got one more little topic to cover, I guess, as we wrap things up, because obviously we've been going along tonight. It's been a little heated, and we have a few super chats that we'll get to toward the end and things. And I greatly appreciate everybody's time tonight in the chat and also on the panel. So thank you all so much for being here, Hargeet and Asante. Thank you so much. And Dee, thank you for stepping it up and taking the hits, as it were, because you definitely got pelted by the chat a lot. And that's there you go. But I didn't think anybody there was being too disrespectful. You sent it to me. Oh, thank you, Ray. I appreciate you sending me that. I don't think I have time to set it up at the moment, but for a future show, definitely I will get that set up so we can have better control over our super chat. So thank you for that. All right. So on the screen, Hargeet, we'll let you kind of read through that. And big shout out to the other members of the community that have joined into, like I said, Plume Network that was in the chat, and also Mav from Fun Speculation as well. Go ahead.
All right. Big week at GDC for Xbox. Microsoft is done waiting for developers to get around to Xbox. Free tools, faster onboarding, and a unified workflow mean shipping on Xbox is now basically frictionless. Skipping the platform is starting to look like a choice, not a constraint, but questions remain if it'll be enough. Full story here. So that's pointing to a Windows Central.
Do we want
to
go to that? It's up to you. I can go ahead and go to it, and then we can see from there.
Sure.
Share the screen. It's very colorful.
All right. Do you want me to read through these, or just want to scroll through and see major points or something?
Yeah. You want to read that first part and then we'll.
Sure. At GDC 2026, Microsoft revealed major changes to Xbox development, including faster onboarding, public tools, and free backend services through PlayFab Foundation mode.
And now, isn't that? Let me share the screen real quick and let you read some of the highlights of the PlayFab, and then I'll go back to the article that kind of breaks it down. What PlayFab allows them to do.
Sure. PlayFab is your cross-platform games backend, matchmaking, leaderboards, stats, economy, live ops, analytics, and game saves. For games shipping on Xbox, it's all included at no additional cost. The latest GDK bundles the PlayFab Unified SDK, one modular package. You reference the components you need, and they're already part of your GDK install. A few specifics worth calling out. PlayFab Game Saves is where we're headed for the future of saves on Xbox. Your player's progress follows them across every device. It's available now. PlayFab Matchmaking is the newest Xbox matchmaking, all your players in one pool. Economy, live ops, and analytics. I don't know if we're going to get the full thing here, right? But from your live service backbone for managing, form your live service backbone for managing inventory, experiments, right? Except I think those are in real-time data. I don't know if there's more beyond that, but we're kind of at the end of the tweet here, whatever this is.
And this back to the article.
Xbox development is now so much faster that it is becoming difficult for developers to justify skipping the platform. With new tools that help studios scale their games across multiple platforms, Xbox and PC are increasingly positioned as a strong starting point for development. For context, only 2 years ago, the process of getting set up to develop for Xbox took around 30 days. Before that, it could take several months. Microsoft says developers can get to working Xbox development environment working development environment in about 30 minutes.
That's pretty amazing. Some of the other articles that were up there about the Xbox mode, and then 80% of the games planned for Windows and PlayStation 5 and Xbox plans, and also with the all-in, Xbox is going all-in on Play Anywhere. So that's kind of nice. I don't know that some basically talks about the development time being drastically reduced now, so hopefully it'll make them a lot easier to do. I don't really see anything else, Hargeet, that jumps out.
So one of the other ones that you just kind of went past was the onboarding process has cut down quite a bit. It used to take a couple of days or whatever, a couple of weeks. It's down to I think a few minutes now. In the past, part of the Xbox development process was slowed down by paperwork. Becoming an Xbox partner meant waiting for contracts to be generated, sent, and processed. And if you scroll down a bit more, I think they've cut that down to like a few minutes now. That's now changed. Xbox partner agreements are generated automatically, cutting handling time by more than 90%.
Wow.
So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. And that'll definitely make it a lot easier for somebody just getting started or somebody who's just trying to get a game out pretty quick, because it costs money to just stay in the studio and work. If you don't, if you can, and house a bunch of different programmers, if you want to continue to get product out and continue, that's probably the way to do it. Anything else on there you want to highlight on? Do you see your standard, or you just keep scrolling? Or
what is Foundation mode? Let's go down. Let's see what that is. Foundation mode is a new PlayFab offering announced at GDC 2026, giving Xbox developers access to core PlayFab services. Now, if like me, you are not a developer and have no idea what any of that means, I did do some research so I can explain it. Hopefully they have some information if we scroll down a bit. Okay, so it's a back-end service platform that provides the infrastructure many modern games rely on. Think multiplayer lobbies, matchmaking, leaderboards, and similar systems. Let's see if they tell us what Foundation is. Microsoft now changed that with Foundation mode. The service is now free for developers shipping games on Xbox, providing tools like matchmaking, multiplayer lobbies, networking, cross saves, leaderboards, and more. So that's pretty good. So, but if you want to go beyond that, maybe they charge for that, I guess. These services cover several areas developers usually have to build themselves, including player identity, progression, multiplayer systems, community features, live service management, economies, and gameplay data. Developers can also start using these tools as soon as they commit to shipping a game on Xbox with no Azure subscription or payment setup required. Even better, the system's across platform. That means developers can use the same backend services for players across iOS, Android, Nintendo Switch, PC, and PlayStation.
There you go. All right.
Nice.
Yeah. All right. So anything else we want to go down on
That's
this? Or
that
we
one.
want, Kate, you want
Your
I think
thoughts?
it just
Kate?
goes comments after that. Yeah. Kate, what are your thoughts on that?
I don't really see too much difference from where they were before. Like they've been closely trying to like bring this in line with standard PC development more and more and more. This is the closest they've ever come, which is great. But what I want to know that I still have not heard by any of this is, what does it look like in your Windows Store like certification process for releasing games and updates? Because that's what slowed them down historically, right? Like there's been games that come out on Steam and then the Xbox version is 2-3 versions behind because they have to go through certification both on the Windows Store and on the Xbox because they're unified that way, right? Which makes sense because you're a console ecosystem, you want to go through certification process and all that. But that has historically slowed down progress. I wonder if all of this PlayFab and this is cool as heck. Like I've been saying it all over the place. Like for me, what they should do here is throw in an actual engine because that's the only thing that's missing from PlayFab, right? They have all this other stuff. They need to throw in like IdTech and make it and start down the process of making it a real competitor one day to Unreal. You've done so much great work with all the rest of the stuff. IdTech would be, this is how you start feeding IdTech and into the market and getting it more and more retail experience, right? So I think that's cool. But I want to see them tackle some of those pain points that have been in their ecosystem for some time now, right? This unified thing that tends to slow them down. I need them to speak more to, hey, you can drop updates as quickly as you need them to, because that's what's made Steam successful, right? On Steam's side, drop an update, drop another one. If you need to, it's available for you. Just drop it, and then now your player base is fixed, right? Whereas on the Xbox side, I have this update, I should be able to deploy it. It'll take like a week and a half, maybe 2, to get it out, and that's still a problem. I hope they're addressing it. I haven't seen or heard too much in that way right now, but what they're doing here to me is excellent, absolutely excellent. Like this should have been the way it's been moving this whole time. There's even talk of them working with NVIDIA now to unify the back end APKs to APIs rather, to be able to run more of Unreal in line with DirectX 12 and the potential of 13 coming, right? So all of that will make all this stuff like turnkey for getting games developed on all the various platforms. But they still have some of those fundamentals that have dogged them in the past that I wish they'd speak on a bit more.
Yep, I agree with that. But I think because we're going up on like 2.5 hours, and I don't want to keep you guys much longer, even though we definitely we went off the rails a little bit here and there, but that's okay. It was definitely an interesting show, to say the least. We'll see what the replay is on this one, and we do Sloth and all the guys. We do give you permission to cut and snip whatever you want. Have fun. So there you go. But I guess any final thoughts? We did have the big breakdown, which I don't really think we really have the time to get into it. I was actually planning on playing like pretty much the whole thing and kind of breaking down what he had to say, Jason Ronald, with some of the innovations for the console that's coming out, and I did say console, just so you know, that's coming out, the new Xbox console coming out presumably next year in 2027. So we will see when that actually happens. I'm pretty excited about it. I think it's going to be big. And the way he's talking about it, I mean, when we talked, and Hargeet was there, and okay, you were there last year too. I think we all asked Jason at one time or another when we were at the show in June. What you working on, and because he had just gotten his promotion and everything, and he was like, oh, we got some really big things coming. I think you guys are really going to like it. It's going to be big, and things are, and they've been working on it for a while. And I really think that they have definite advantage because they decided to focus and double down on getting to the next big thing. And I guarantee you their purchase of ABK was a big mindset to their, I guess, to their mindset changing, I guess, is the way it was. And quote unquote, the console wars, this and all that kind of thing. But when it comes down to it, in the long run, I think we might realize that Microsoft had made the right choices in doing what they're done, especially with the position that they're in now, because they are making a lot of money off of being the largest publisher in the world with some of the biggest titles out there, and titles that are making them money hand over fist. Titles that obviously Sony wishes that they had something that would be doing that. I mean, Helldivers is doing okay, but even if you looked at the numbers recently for Destiny 2, holy shit, those are absolutely in the toilet. And that's big revenue for them. Well, it was big revenue for them, but it's not so much anymore. And unfortunately, that's just that's kind of the way it is. I don't know. Like I said, there's a lot of big games coming out too this week. Anything else you guys want to touch on? I appreciate your guys' time so much tonight, and I do thank DBatch for coming on and having his feet to the fire, as it were. Did get a little crazy at times, but hey, sometimes you bring things on yourself, and anyway, he says he was being respectful, but there's respectful, and then there's like it's time for you to be quiet, let the other adults in the room talk, and then you can rebut. That's the whole back and forth thing. But completely talking over somebody while they're trying to make their point, that is not the way to go about it. Sorry, my friend. And that's again, I support Hargeet's decision 100% on that. It is what it is. I mean, hell, if I had one of my best friends was on here and doing the same thing, I would kick him out and be like, dude, shut up. The man's trying to make his point. That's why we give the platform and have people on here that we don't necessarily agree with, but that's how you get a conversation going, is that you try and listen to all sides. So there you go. Asante, is there anything else that you want to talk about tonight before we wrap things up?
No, I appreciate y'all having me as usual. I don't get a chance to podcast on Sundays as much as I usually like to, but it's always good to be here with you guys, and I'm looking forward to all the June stuff that's about to break off, which we're still preparing in the background. So there's a lot going on.
Are you going to be there in June?
I will be there 100%.
Yes. Good. At one time you were you weren't really sure, but
I was on the back and forth, but I have locked the plans down. I even have hotel rooms and tickets booked, the whole thing. It's a wrap.
Are you coming in on Thursday? Or are you coming in on Friday?
I will be there on Thursday, and I'll be leaving Monday night.
Fantastic. Same here. That's good. Because that means that Friday morning, if you want to, you can join us join us for breakfast. A bunch of us are going to go, and I'll treat. So it's going to be fun. We'll do that.
Looking forward to seeing all the folks as usual. Hopefully the gang gets back together. It was fun last time.
Yeah, it was. And then I think like this year, I think I know like Chris from the Iron Lords is going to be bunking with me because he needed a place to stay, and I'm like, you know what, cool. Yeah, come on, crash. And then possibly even FARK QUE if he's able to make. He's working on trying to make it in. FARK QUE makes it in, we're gonna get a rollaway bed and let him crash there with us too, because I said more the merrier, man. It's gonna be a lot of fun, a lot of good times. Hopefully we'll be able to get into everything. So Hargeet, do you have any opinions, anything like that you want to, anything else that you want to say or wrap up or to touch on any points?
I mean, we can wrap up, but I guess we didn't really get into like what he gave us for the new information, right? So like the next gen machine learning stuff, the ray regeneration stuff. We can leave it for another one if we think it's kind of getting late, right? So, but there was like a lot of those kind of things that they did go over, right? That we're getting. There's also FSR Diamond that was announced as part of this, which is the partnership they have instead of Amethyst. But I think Diamond might be available to everybody. I'm not sure where that sits, so we'll see. But yeah, so there's a couple of other announcements that were made there by both AMD and by Microsoft, right? So at GDC.
Yeah, so, including this one that's on the screen. That was another big one that we really didn't get to talk about. Okay.
Yeah, so AutoSR, right? Maybe KSLD, you can go over that one.
Yeah. So it looks like they're now finally starting to use the AI chips that are in the AI modules rather that are inside these devices to use like AutoSR to basically do performance profiling, right? So a game comes out, it drops down. In addition to all the performance profiles that are already available, they use AutoSR to upscale and give it just a little bit of the edge. We saw like early benchmarks for AutoSR. It wasn't quite 4K or whatever, but on a handheld, after it's already gone through its post process, this is a post process upscaler.
Mhm.
So this is not something that happens between the frames. This happens after everything's done. So this can work in addition to AMD and NVIDIA stuff. So it looks like it'll be interesting. I'm looking forward to looking at like what it really looks like when it's in run. We've only really seen its magic on Windows and ARM not too long ago. So this will be the first time we really see it like come out and show out on Windows. So yeah, it looks like it's interesting. You know, there's a lot of cool stuff happening, which ultimately will then trickle down to non handheld and non specialty devices. Ultimately, everybody else will start getting access to this as well. So yeah, it looks cool.
It does look cool. Hargeet, your thoughts on this? This is the last points.
Yeah, I think it's something they've been talking about for a while, that they're going to finally have AutoSR come out, and it's finally coming out. That's great. So now we finally get to see what this is like. And the cool thing with it is it kind of allows it to use whatever your underlying hardware is, which is interesting, right? So it just kind of obfuscates that, so people can develop based on whatever, and it'll just use AutoSR and automatically use the hardware you have, which was kind of a cool potential idea, assuming it works. We'll see, right? So it might be best to use what's native, but maybe this does work very well and takes that headache away from the development process, which again, everything they're trying to do is to make it easier and easier and easier, which I think is a good thing. So cool stuff.
Yeah, for real. I agree. It's pretty exciting because I think we all have one, so it's going to be cool as things start to update on it. So looking forward to more and more improvements as time goes on too. And plus, a lot of the things that reason they released this is help them make the new system that's coming out, the next gen consoles, even better and more reliable when it does come out next year. So looking forward to that. And again, D, we still got that bet. We'll clip that little bit out. We'll save that and archive that. So and if it does come out, your precious PlayStation 6 does come out before the end of 2027, then I will pay you your $50. And if it doesn't, yeah, I'll definitely at least bring it up and remind you, hey. But we'll see. And again, either way, it doesn't really matter. That was all for fun. Okay, so guys, again, thank you all so much for being here. Crazy night. Let me go ahead and turn back on TTS, let it play them out, and if not, we'll read them out as we head out the door. Again, okay, I can't thank you enough for being here. I really mean that. Let's see here. Resume. Let's see if it plays. It may take a second for it to. And then we'll see where it starts at.
Clapping emoji, clapping emoji, clapping emoji, clapping emoji. Please play my theme song, God.
I'll play it again in a minute. We got some more to go through.
Consoles used to only play games. Now they run app.
Yeah.
D can't handle it without his echo chamber, huh?
I thought
We got Gangster Hargeet before GTA 6, flexed bicep emoji, 100 emoji, rolling on the floor laughing emoji.
Gangster Hargeet, I like that.
That baby boy 0803 celebrates 4 months of membership.
Congratulations and thank you so much, Ray. Appreciate you.
At Random Commentator Met celebrates 7 months of membership.
Thank you so much. We appreciate that. That's awesome. If you want your own membership, it's only $1. That's it, and that's all. I think that was all of them that were in the queue as it were.
I think so. Yeah, I think
we'll do this real fast for P-Lump.
They see me rolling. Watch him rolling, watch him go, watch him rolling, watch him go. He be rolling down the street, he be rolling to the beat.
Gotta have a little fun with that. There we go. I want to share this out to you too. These are what the new shirts look like that are available now. If you're interested in that, and they are the Arc Raiders version of the Gamers Council t-shirts with the Core 3 right there. There we go. I like. Okay, I think you turned out quite nice in it, don't you? Look at the beard. Looks good, doesn't it?
Not bad. Yeah, looks good.
Good. And then, of course, on the back, we'll have these wonderful little things. And then let's see. I think let's get to.
Yeah, this look cool.
Let's see. Share this one. Is the one with a little close up a little better.
DBatch the stripper WHO strips outside and nobody watching. AIO.
Hey, yo. Hey, yo. There you go. And then see, look at that.
Ooh, and Silent Cypher gifts 20 WebDave memberships. Thank you.
Oh my gosh.
The additional 20, right?
After you gave 50. Silent, thank you so much. Really
Holy
appreciate
crap.
that. My goodness. There was a comment earlier. Said Dave, you need to bring on more anti-Xbox people because apparently it fires up your super chats. So anyway, it wasn't the point.
It's true.
It did.
That's true. It did.
Kate, do you like the back of that shirt there? I know, nice.
Oh yeah, it's pretty decent. It's really nice. I like you put the names on the back. That's great.
There you go. So like I said, you'll be getting one of those, and I'll bring it with us in June.
Appreciate you, sir.
Oh no, I appreciate you. In fact, I designed that one special because it's the only one that's see, it's got the V-neck just for you, buddy.
See, Everborn Saga's not listening. At least you are. Appreciate you.
You got to take care of your own, right? That's the way it is. All right, guys. Again, thank you all so much for being here. I really appreciate each and everybody that was here in the chat. We had over like 300 people at one time watching us live, and I guarantee you this episode is going to get some replay, and we'll see how as it goes out into the ether. May even get clipped a bunch, but that's the way it is. Sorry. Asante, please tell everybody where they can reach out to you, where they can find you, and I'm going to put your QR code in the corner so that everybody can easily click on your show, the Gaming Circle Podcast, right there. Hold your phone up and click on that.
So you go ahead and click on that. Thank you so much for having me. These days you can find me more often in our Discord, discord.gg/TGCP, basically spells out the Gaming Circle Podcast. Discord.gg/TGCP. Lots of great folks. We're chatting. We're having crazy debates in there as well. So if you are tempered of heart, you may want to be careful because sometimes you walk in there and you get sniped. Bring some knowledge and you'll be all right. Otherwise, we're just hanging out, talking games, having a good time as we do, staying off of the cesspool that tends to be general social media these days. So join us there. Otherwise, I will be once again doing the Gaming Circle Podcast with my man, Mr. Everborn Saga, on Saturdays. We had a show yesterday that was pretty good. We had the great Paris Lily join us. Kind of chatted about all the stuff that he had seen at the GDC. So yeah, lots of fun there. So come check us out. I appreciate y'all for having me. Appreciate you. Thank you.
Oh, dude, you are always welcome here. Always, and you have the keys to the kingdom. Anytime you need on to get some bars off or something, you have some knowledge you want to share with us. You are most welcome here, sir. And again, it is actually, and I mean this with all sincerity, and I hope you know that it is an honor every time we have you on the show. I love your takes, and much respect for you and all the work that you're doing in the community. It's great stuff, great times, and anyway, thank you so much for being you, man. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Appreciate you. Thank you.
Right back at you. All right. So Hargeet, please tell everybody where they can reach out to you, where they can find you. And I got your link to your YouTube channel. Yeah. And of course, you got some other stuff going on too. That's now up in the corner over beside K is the QR code for that. So please tell everybody where they can reach out and find you. And of course, they can find you on Discord as well.
Yeah. And shout out to D who did come on and he took a lot of heat. My goodness, the amount of super chats we were getting that were just anti-D, that was very sad, unfortunately. Sorry, D, for that, but it is what it is, man. A lot of people did not agree with your ideas, but anyway, whatever. So you reach me on my channel is Hargeet Chani 1. You reach me on Discord at Chani. My book, if you want to pick it up, Emergence, and my merch, if you want to pick it up, it's shop.chani.us. Check that out. I should be on with Fonz on Tuesday, 7 p.m. US Eastern Time, with Boom on Wednesday at 7 p.m. US Eastern Time, and I think we'll be back this Friday with C Money and Doodle on Point for Gamers. Check that out, 8ish p.m. US Eastern Time on Friday, and then we'll be back here next Sunday. Check out what's going on. I'm sure there'll be more interesting news coming out. It seems like there's a lot of new stuff happening, right? And there's more things happening with Xbox. So we'll see what else is coming up, and I'm sure there'll be more information for the other two as well. And we at some point will find out about the Steam machine. I don't know when we're going to get some pricing. So
and
lots of stuff going on.
Crimson Desert comes out Tuesday.
Oh yeah.
It'll be big.
Good stuff.
Already got my copy paid for, ready to go, ready to get that one in the queue, ready to download. And we are going to send everybody over to, if you want to stick around in the chat, definitely stay there. We're going to send you over to Sigs and Cereal. I don't know if you guys get a chance to watch him yet. Cat is pretty good at calling out the ponies and breaks it all down. Actually, he's done a few segments with DBatch, and I have a feeling he might even clip this one out and break into it. You just never know who's going to appear on Sigs and Cereal. Recommended by it's Alex in a big way. And like I said, when we send you over there, if you do hang out over there, at least we got one from Day Rizzy coming up. Hopefully it plays.
Poor K Asante. Robes and Punch is on the left, sir.
Robes and Punch right.
Robes and Punch is on the left. What you trying to say, bro? I don't understand. What are you trying to say? That's weird.
Yeah, that would that's Day Rizzy.
If you like this video, please hit the like button.
All righty. But anyway, I appreciate each and every one of y'all for being here. Thank you all so much. Let me get on the right screen as I talk myself out. But like I said, Sigs and Cereals where we're going to send you over to. And if you do hang in his chat, even if you just jump on for a second or two, let him know he's been rated by the Gamers Council. And if you get a chance to stick around, listen to this show, I think you'll find him quite entertaining because he really gives the ponies enough rope for them to hang themselves, and he does that quite often, as it were. All right, so guys, again, thanks again for joining us here on the Gamers Council. See ya.
Game over.
Let them know you guys are in my DM. King, what will we do? We will hold the line.